And here's Eric's favorite part of SEC football.
Yeah,
the sandstorm and the white hankies, and
it's in full effect. I tried to confiscate and hide the hankies coming in. We couldn't figure out where to hide them though.
Well, from this angle, it does look pretty neat. It's a good-looking view.
It is a good-looking view.
You have to be honest. Come on now.
Listen, I never minded it until several years ago when we came out and it was 21-0 and felt like 30 seconds into the game.
I remember that was a gut punch. Yeah. I remember that well. You're right. All right, we're almost ready for some football. Georgia will kick it away. Deebo Samuel, one of the deep men back. He's in the end zone. And then they've got Turner, A.J. Turner, the up back. He's at about the 5-yard line right now as he walks around waiting for the kickoff of Rodrigo Blankenship. Georgia will be booting this one away from right to left as we view it high atop Williams-Brice Stadium, down on about the 20-yard line from our vantage point. Blankenship kicked them all out of the end zone last week in the win over Austin Peay. Here's the kickoff. We're underway. This one sailing deep into the end zone over the head of Deebo Samuel. Will land about 9 yards deep in the end zone, bounce over the back line for the touchback, and that's how this one starts. South Carolina will be 1st and 10 at its own 25-yard line. Bright sunshine, a lot of heat here in Columbia today. Georgia Power brings the energy for every game day and to your community too. Visit georgiapower.com/sports to learn more as we watch today from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here in Williams-Brice Stadium. 1st and 10 on the 25 for the Gamecocks. Jake Bentley is the South Carolina quarterback. Works out of the shotgun, empty set, 3 receivers left and 2 to the right. Bentley wants to throw on the first play. He'll pass, it's caught, going down to a knee and making the grab at the 33 for South Carolina is Casey Crosby, the tight end, 6'1" senior from Bamberg, South Carolina. DeAndre Baker, Natrez Patrick, 1-2 on the tackle. It is a gain for South Carolina of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Again, to pass, this time broken up towards Deebo Samuel. There's the first meeting of Baker and Samuel, and DeAndre Baker wins that brief battle as he breaks up the throw, incomplete on the left side of the field. Quickly, it's 3rd down for the Gamecocks.
And you see how fast Carolina wants to go. 3 and out's important just so they don't get momentum behind them.
3rd and about 2.5 from their own 33. Bentley to pass. He pump fakes. Now he throws it. Going to be incomplete, out of bounds into the Georgia bench. Here comes a late flag. Trying to go to Samuel, running down the sideline. Flag was thrown at about the 50-yard line.
Well, they're going to call pass interference on us, but we actually got him. It drove him out of bounds. Just his route ran himself out of bounds, so the contact happened not pass even in the playing field.
On the defense, number 18, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Now that hurts.
Well, not even an inch of space there for Deebo Samuel to find any kind of breathing room. Pretty good coverage. There was contact, but it looked like it was out of the playing field. Shouldn't have mattered anyway.
South Carolina will be bumped up the field. The new line of scrimmage will be their own 48-yard line.
The Dogs have come out. They played cover 2 on 1st down. Didn't get any pressure on Bentley. We brought a linebacker on 2nd down, so went single safety and then went single safety again on that 3rd down play.
Again, empty set for South Carolina. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Bentley in the shotgun. Shotgun snap. Bentley from his own 40 looks, throws it over the middle. Oh, off the hands and arms of Monty Rice. He wasn't expecting him. It hit him right in the body. An easy interception, or it should have been. Monty Rice couldn't come down with the catch. Brian Edwards, we think, was the target over the middle somewhere, but that throw was nowhere near the receiver and was right in our arms, but we didn't catch it.
Well, it was a crossing route. Jake Bentley just threw it hot and high. No chance for his receiver to catch it.
2nd 10, South Carolina, ball on their 47. They throw it to the left side, off the hands. This time it is picked off the tip. Running down the sideline is Baker. 20, 15, 10, 5, pick 6, Georgia. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Wow, should have had one on the last play. That ball, another bullet by Bentley. That ball pops up into the air, and then we swoop out of nowhere and pick it off, and there was not a Garnet jersey in sight. What a fantastic start for the Dogs. You talk about making this crowd get quiet. That's exactly the way you do it.
Looked like DeAndre Walker may have tipped it as they were trying to go to Rico Dowdle. Bentley's pass tipped up in the air, and Baker came down with the tip and all the way down the sideline on the far side for the first points of this contest. It's 6-0 Georgia, and that return was better than 50 yards, I believe. Here's the point after try by Rodrigo Blankenship. It is up and good. And it's 7-0 Georgia. That Bulldog touchdown sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta with over 90 destinations that you love. 7-0. Dogs lead the Gamecocks. We're not even a minute in here in Columbia on the Bulldogs Sports Network. From the Piedmont Healthcare booth here at Williams-Brice Stadium, Georgia 7 and South Carolina nothing. DeAndre Baker, 56-yard interception return for a touchdown. Georgia's on the board first. That's the Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Dogs will kick it off again. 14-13 on the clock, first quarter. Georgia with a 7-0 lead. Here's Blankenship to kick it away from right to left for the Dogs. Samuel and Turner, the deep receivers. Blankenship's kick sailing high, end over end towards the end zone, and in the back corner, touchback for South Carolina. They'll have the ball again at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Let's go down to the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Chuck Dowdle. Chuck.
Guys, if I remember correctly, it was a few years ago that South Carolina was preaching to Georgia that you can't win in the SEC without running the football. That first possession, they never attempted a run. And by the way, I could have told the quarterback Bentley the Dowdles have never had good hands.
See, thanks, Chuck. See, you saw something towards the end of that play on the interception by Baker on the TV replay.
Yeah, so Baker picks it off, is sprinting down the field, and a convoy in front of him actually dropped the football a few inches before he actually crossed the goal line. So a break for the Dogs on actually that being called a touchdown and not getting reviewed.
Indeed, a break, and South Carolina will run it on first down with Dowdle at left tackle. He's hit at the 30-yard line and stopped after a 5-yard gain. Richard LeCount, Jawan Taylor making the stop. This time Carolina again staying on the ground with Dowdle. He's turned upside down around the 26-yard line by Michael Barnett, a junior from South Carolina, 6'4" and 304 pounds.
For a huge push up front there by the Dogs. Nowhere for Carolina to go with that football. We were in the backfield last week. Not a whole lot in terms of tackles for loss. Already have got one today.
Yeah, that was a 2-yard loss back on the 28. Back nose of the football just across the 28-yard line. Donnell Stanley, the center, over the ball for South Carolina. Shotgun snap back to Bentley from the far hash. He stands. He's got all kinds of time. Throws. Dowdle drops it. Again, well, as Chuck said, the Dowdles have never had good hands, and Dowdle dropped the pass right in his hands. Had to leap up a little bit for it at the 31. Couldn't bring it down. It's incomplete. South Carolina will have to punt.
Dogs drop 8 right there, so back in coverage. Actually had a spy on Bentley, so we brought a fourth guy on the rush, but did it late. So coverage downfield was excellent. Bentley forced to go to his check down with Dowdle. We were on top of him again. Dowdy would have had the first down, but tough start for Dowdle.
Here's Joseph Charlton to punt for South Carolina. Mecole Hardman, the deep man, waves for the fair catch. Drifts towards the far sideline, makes the catch at the 24 of Georgia. Dogs lead it 7-0 early after a 48-yard punt and a fair catch by the Dogs. Georgia's offense on the field for the first.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Today's broadcast is live from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth.
Champions for Charity game is on every time we win. Camp Twin Lakes, the Salvation Army, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas. Georgia on offense for the first time in the ball game, leading 7-0. Georgia on its own 24-yard line. Jake Fromm, the quarterback. DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Fromm's in the shotgun. We bring Mecole Hardman in motion to the near side. Play fake Georgia. Fromm with time throws complete to Tyler Simmons at the 35-yard line on the near hash. And the native of Powder Springs brings it down there and is tackled by Sherrod Green and Rashad Fenton. But not before the Dogs pick up 11 yards. They actually moved the ball to the 36. So a gain of 12. 1st and 10 Georgia on our own 36-yard line.
Carolina played cover 3 right there. Dogs actually want to throw a bubble screen up top. That curl route was Jake Fromm's third option.
We shift. Fromm goes under center. Toss sweep to Swift. Running this way. He draws a crowd of garnet shirts and black pants, and they run him out of bounds into the South Carolina sideline. DeAndre Swift, not a lot of space on the short side of the field, this near sideline. We'll see where they mark the ball at the 38-yard line. A pickup of 2 for the sophomore running back from Philadelphia. Second down, 8 for Georgia. Dogs 7-0 on the interception return for a touchdown. 56 yards by DeAndre Baker, not even a minute into the ballgame.
Good job there by Carolina on that toss sweep into the boundary, just getting down the line of scrimmage, creating a wall, nowhere to go.
7 in the box for South Carolina. We throw it out in the right flat to Hardman. Hardman with jet speed, gets all by the first 2 men and then tried to leap over a guy at the Carolina 35-yard line. He steps out of bounds. There's a flag down at the end of the play. Out of bounds at the end of the run at the Carolina 32 was Mecole Hardman, who just went flying by defenders yet again. But let's check the flag from referee Matt Leffler and his crew here in Columbia.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 6. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that one might be a little give back for the pass interference that we had out of bounds. Pretty nitpicky, but we'll take it.
Dogs racking up some Scana energy first downs on this possession. The ball will be placed on the 17. Let's go to Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control.
Yeah, let me tell you, Scott, what happened was Mecole was down on the ground out of bounds, and he got hit. He got hit as he was laying on the ground out of bounds, play dead. That's what the foul was.
First and 10 Georgia at the Carolina 17-yard line. Dogs in the Massey Ferguson red zone here in the first quarter. Out of the pistol, Swift behind Fromm. DeAndre gets the handoff, angling to the near side, to the 10, to the 5, end zone, touchdown, DeAndre Swift. He got a massive block on this side. I think it may have been Crumpton that sprung him on the near side. Swift into the end zone, and the Dogs lead it 13-0.
Indeed, it was Crumpton. Riley Ridley in on the action, too. We had a couple of decleaters by our receivers that allowed DeAndre Swift to get to the outside. Isaac Nada, another one. A phenomenal job by our receivers and tight ends blocking downfield.
Georgia has stunned this overflow crowd here in Columbia, but we're not even 5 minutes into the ball game. Extra point try by Blankenship. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is right between the pipes. Good. It's 14-0. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. Georgia 14. Gamecocks nothing. First quarter. Back in a moment. Bulldogs Sports Network. (14-0) Georgia. Long way to go here in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth at Williams-Brice Stadium. Dogs up 2 touchdowns. Georgia went 76 yards in 4 plays. 17-yard touchdown run. DeAndre Swift put the Dogs up 2 scores. That's the Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Again, Samuel and Turner will go back deep. Third time in the ball game. We're at the 11:50 mark in the first quarter to receive Blankenship's kickoff. And Rodrigo puts his foot into it yet again. That one's going to land about 6 or 7 yards deep in the end zone. Samuel just walks away from the ball, and it'll be whistled as another touchback for South Carolina. And they'll start again on the 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
Team speed for the University of Georgia on display right now. When you look at the athletes that we have and how quick we are, Mecole Hardman just exploding past people. DeAndre Swift finds an edge and then nobody can touch him. Then combine that with the physicality and some of the downfield blocking. Lethal combination so far early in this football game.
Out of the pistol, South Carolina will hand it off to a bigger back, Tyson Williams, a junior, 6 feet, 220 from Sumter, South Carolina. Gets his first carry into the line of scrimmage and met there by Tyler Clark, the 6'4", 300-pound junior from Americus. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, you might have gotten a couple of inches. Second down and a long 9. Bentley to throw again. Far sideline. They tried a one-hand grab. Here again comes a flag. Debo Samuel the target. DeAndre Baker, I think going to be whistled for either a hold or pass interference on that far sideline. Again, Samuel, the target. Pass was incomplete, but the flag came out right in front of the Georgia bench.
Pass interference. Defense, number 18, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's going to be an interesting battle all afternoon, Z.
Well, not a whole lot of space is Baker giving Debo, but just way too much contact there. That was a good call. Dogs go single safety. Jake Bentley getting to Samuel on a back shoulder fade, and Baker got a whole handful of jersey and dragged Debo down.
Samuel had 7 catches last week, 56 yards in the win over Coastal Carolina as he returned from that broken leg in Game 3 last season against Kentucky. Motion man comes his way. They pitch it forward. We've got him in the backfield. DeAndre Walker read it all the way. DeAndre shatters the play, blew it up back at the 34. Debo Samuel came from the left side in motion. They pitched the ball forward to him, and it's a big hawking loss back to the 34-yard line.
Boy, first contact tackle is exactly what you want to see. DeAndre Walker off the edge, doesn't get touched by anybody, and just happened to run right into the jet sweep.
Loss of 6. Second down, and 16 to go for South Carolina. Ball back on the 34 now. Bentley in the pocket, throws, pass is tipped. It's going to wobble out to the receiver, however. Brian Edwards caught it in front of the South Carolina bench at the 45-yard line. He had a couple of men around him. Richard LeCount, Monty Rice on the stop. Edwards made the catch after the pass was tipped by a Georgia lineman. David Marshall tipped the pass, but Carolina completes it. Now a quick throw out to the right around the 50 is caught on the right side by Ortre Smith. Smith right in front of the South Carolina bench catches it at the 50, gets the first down. So after that loss by DeAndre Walker, South Carolina gets it back in 2 plays. Walker made the tackle on that last play. And now we're ready to go against South Carolina just across midfield in Georgia territory. 1st and 10 at the 49.5. Bentley takes the snap, hands off. Running straight ahead is Tyson Williams for a handful of yards. David Marshall, Monty Rice on the stop for the Georgia defense. Williams got to the 46-yard line. He got about 3, maybe a little bit more than that.
And how they are playing defense. A lot of single safety, bringing a lot of pressure. Every once in a while, just sprinkling in a little bit of cover 2.
Second down, 7. Gamecocks out of the pistol. Williams behind Bentley. Play fake. Bentley, the quarterback, will throw. Diving towards the sideline is Smith again. 6'4" sophomore from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Stretches out his body and makes the catch at the Carolina 38-yard line. That's a gain of 8. And it's a first down for the Gamecocks, who are moving steadily now on this possession.
Carolina having to throw into some very, very tight windows. Tyson Campbell on the coverage there. It was just a hitch, and that ball had to be put on the outside shoulder just for it to be completed. Good ball, very good catch.
Bentley, play fake, nobody there to take the fake. He'll throw it right side, far sideline. He'll airmail it, throw it away. Oh, well out of bounds. Ortre Smith was the lone guy in the vicinity. Tyson Campbell was in coverage. Bentley just got rid of it. He had no play. It'll be a long incomplete pass, and second down and 10 coming up for the Gamecocks from the 38-yard line of Georgia.
Good protection there by Carolina. We brought a linebacker, the Sam linebacker, off of the slot. Carolina running back did a good job in protection there, picking up the blitzing linebacker. We didn't have any other push up front. Fortunately, coverage very good downfield.
They may have had an issue with the digital yard marker on the near sideline. Referee Matt Leffler now says, let's play some ball. Second down and 10 for the Gamecocks. They're on the Georgia 38-yard line, moving to the right. Snap to Bentley. Quick throw to the right side to Edwards. He makes the grab at the 35. A couple of steps downfield to the 33.5. Tackled by Richard LeCount, the sophomore safety from Riceboro, Georgia. Makes the stop up high on the big 6'3", 220-pound receiver from Conway, South Carolina. The gain is 4. South Carolina, 3rd down and 6 now from just outside the Georgia 33-yard line.
That was a side adjustment there by Carolina. We brought corner fire. LeCount came from his safety position down and able to get down to the receiver very quickly. We telegraphed it a little bit. Pretty easy for Bentley to see.
Carolina, 5 receivers, empty set. We blitz. They throw across to Edwards, who came from right to left, caught it over the line of scrimmage, breaks one tackle, breaks another. 2 flags down on this side of the field. Edwards down to the 15-yard line, tackled by Mikhail Carter and Richard LeCount. Let's see what the flags are all about now. There's a flag at the 33-yard line. There are 2 of them. One of the officials picked up the other flag and brought it back at the 33. That's where he dropped it. Edwards down to the 15, so that's where the ball is marked. Officials are discussing it, and we'll see if this one comes back or not.
There is no foul for pass interference. The pass was caught behind the line. First down.
So the pass to Edwards turns out to be a big gain from the 33 down to the 15. So a gain of 18 yards. And it's 1st and 10 there for the Gamecocks on the Georgia 15-yard line.
Edwards just on a shallow cross, the absolute right play against that defense. Jake Bentley able to give ground against the oncoming blitz from Georgia and able to dump that over the line of scrimmage. Because of all the pressure we brought, we had nobody around Edwards.
Bulldogs lead it 14-0. About midway through quarter number 1 here. South Carolina threatening. They run a sweep or run some option to the left. Bentley will pitch it out to the trail man. And Williams is knocked out by Richard LeCount and DeAndre Walker as they stretched it out and forced him to the sideline. He gained a yard to the 14-yard line, but had absolutely no room there as LeCount and Walker had it covered for Georgia. It'll be 2nd down 9 after a gain of 1. Ball's on the Dogs' 14-yard line. South Carolina working on a 75-yard drive here. They started at their own 25. They trail 14-0. Bentley with 2 men to the left. One comes in motion. He'll give him the football. They want to throw it with him, and in the end zone, it is caught. Open, touchdown. Wide open is Edwards. Deebo Samuel took the handoff from the left side, came in motion, pulled up, and threw a wobbler into the end zone where Brian Edwards had no one around him within 10 yards, and South Carolina is on the board with a touchdown.
Well, the focus on Deebo Samuel is evident there. He got the ball on the jet sweep, and everybody abandoned their man downfield in pursuit of Deebo Samuel. Easy throw and catch, and then Deebo Samuel pulls a Baker Mayfield and does a whirlwind run with his arms down the sideline.
All right, the point after try by Parker White is good. And South Carolina cuts the lead in half. It's now Georgia 14 and the Gamecocks 7. The first points allowed by the Bulldog defense this season. South Carolina's drive covered 75 yards, and the scoring play was a 13-yard pass from Samuel to Edwards to get him into the end zone to the right. Well, the Dogs offense will be back on that last drive. He was 6 for 7 for 42 yards.
Yeah, and a big part of that, better protection by the Carolina offensive line as well. The Dogs, steady dose here of bringing pressure in some form or fashion. Not all out blitzes, but dog pressure. So we're bringing linebackers, playing man-to-man cover 1 behind it. We're not able to go get to the quarterback. Jake's got plenty of time against singled out coverage to distribute the football. Took a couple of short passes, got his rhythm and got his confidence back a little bit, but it really started up front with that offensive line.
With Georgia scoring on defense, the Dogs have only run 4 plays here early in the ball game. 18 already run by South Carolina. Gamecocks to kick it off with Parker White, 6'5" sophomore. From left to right, Mecole Hardman and Brian Herrion are the deep men. That kick will land in the back far left corner of the end zone and bounce out of bounds for the touchback over the back line of the end zone. Georgia will have the ball 1st and 10 at its own 25-yard line, leading Carolina 14-7. 7:18 to go here in quarter number 1. Nissan knows game day is all about the game-winning drive, so Rogue has available technologies that'll help you make the day's best drive getting to the stadium. Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. 1st and 10 Dogs. Georgia's in white jerseys today, silver breeches, red hats. South Carolina garnet jerseys and black pants and garnet helmets with the script Carolina across the side of the helmet. Fromm back in the shotgun, actually in the pistol. Swift behind him. slide the tight end in motion, hand it to Swift. A whistle will blow the play dead before we got moving.
The snap. Delay a game. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Boy, coaches aren't going to be happy about that. Coming out of a break to have a delay a game, really inexcusable, and Dogs behind the chains.
Terry Godwin was in. Now he goes out, goes back to the sidelines. We've got Ridley. It's the wide out far to the right side of the field. Now he's going to switch with Tyler Simmons. Simmons will go to that spot on the far side of the field. Ridley will come to the near side. We've got two tight ends in, Nauta and Werner. The lone setback is Swift. From under center. Motion man Simmons takes a quick handoff, running to this side. Tries to cut the corner at the 20 and is angled and forced out of bounds at the 25. Late flag comes in from the defensive secondary. Stephen Montag, the safety, a senior from Covington, Georgia, forcing Simmons out of bounds on the near sideline. But let's check another flag that's thrown in at the 35-yard line. The reaction is it's going to go against the Dogs.
Personal foul, legal block below the waist. Number 8 on the offense. Half the distance. Replay. First down.
Well, this series is not going like Georgia wants it to go. We've had two penalties already. Can't get going forward. That was an illegal block by Riley Ridley. You can't block below the waist downfield anymore. And that's going to back the Dogs up substantially.
Got two mental errors here from the Dogs, and we're backed up in this Carolina crowd that we had taken out of the game momentarily, now very much in it. You can see the communication with Fromm and his offensive line. Very challenging right now.
Ball's on the 14-yard line, 2nd and 22. 4 penalties already for the Dogs, 42 yards and violations. Here's Swift trying to break through tackles. He's trying to be stopped from behind by South Carolina. The tackler pushed him forward. He got a little boost from Sherrod Green, who finally slows him down and drags him to the turf at the 22.5 or so, a gain of 8. And it'll be 3rd down there as Swift's run gets a little bit of that damage back. 2nd down, not 3rd down, 2nd down for Georgia. 2nd and 12. And the ball is right at the 23-yard line. Dogs work between the hash marks, moving from right to left. We put Nauta in motion. He lines up in the slot on the near side. Fromm with time in the pocket. Now wants to run it. He pulls it down. He'll take off running, falling across the 25, maybe the 26. And Fromm's run will net a couple of yards to the 25. And it'll be 3rd down and 10 from our 25-yard line, which was our original starting point on this possession.
Good disguise and coverage there by Carolina. Had too high safety until right at snap, and then they rotate to single safety. May have confused Jake Fromm a little bit. Didn't have his initial couple of guys. The pocket started to collapse on him, and a smart play by him to pull it down and get what he could get.
Fromm, play fake. Here comes a rush. He throws it up deep. It's intercepted. Nobody there but South Carolina. They pick it off at the 50 with Fenton. Fenton running it back on the near side, inside the 40, tackled down at the 35-yard line of Georgia. Fromm just threw it up for grabs. There was no receiver in the area. Easy pick for Fenton. Tyler Simmons, did he break off his route and just left us vulnerable, and Fromm threw it up in the air. South Carolina picks it. Werner and Swift made the tackle, and now South Carolina in business again at the Dogs 34 after the interception.
Tyler Simmons there ran a dig, and then Jake Fromm had a guy right in his face, and not sure if he panicked or if it was it was an improper route there by Simmons. End result, when that ball was thrown up, an easy pick, and Carolina, like you said, back in business.
Bentley in the pocket, looks left, now comes back right and just throws it away. Threw it out of bounds. Intended target was one of the many tight ends on this roster, Jacob August. At 6'6", he couldn't even get to that one. It was way over his head on the near side and complete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Gamecocks defense back out there again. It's been a long first quarter from them. They've Georgia's defense has been on the field for a lot of plays here in this hot first quarter. 5:26 remaining. 14-7. Georgia leading South Carolina. But the Gamecocks trying to take advantage of a Georgia interception.
Yeah, a lot of football left, but a big series early in this game. If we can get a stop here after the turnover, momentum can swing back to us.
Bentley with a play fake, throws it out in the left flat to Debo Samuel. The Dogs defend it perfectly. J.R. Reed came up to make the stop on Debo behind the line of scrimmage out of that far left flat. We'll see where they're going to put the ball. They're going to put it on the 35-yard line, I think, of Georgia. 3rd down, 11 to go for the Dogs, or for South Carolina, excuse me. They're on the Dogs' 35-yard line.
So far, the Dogs excellent with open field tackling. We talked about it before the game, the importance to get these Carolina players on the ground once they've got the ball in space. For the most part, doing it tremendously well.
Pressure by Georgia. We get a hand on Bentley. He breaks away from it. We spun him off balance. He falls forward to about the 33-yard line before we get him down on the ground. That's going to be well short of the first down as Bentley was pressured. I think DeAndre Walker came in around the edge and got a hand on him first. Then Bentley tried to run it, and we stopped him with Rochester and Barnett.
Carolina keeping their offense on the field.
The ball's on the 34-yard line. I think, yeah, definitely out of the range of their field goal kicker, Parker White, who was not very strong last season, hasn't tried a field goal this season. He was just 8 of 14 last year. Bentley will throw on 4th down. Pass is batted up and to the ground. It'll go incomplete. Dogs tried to catch a tip. Debo Samuel, the target on the far side of the field. It was tipped up in the air and up for grabs. Dogs let it fall. I don't know if they were trying to let it fall, but that's the better play because that would have been farther back down the field.
Absolutely.
And we just get it on the turf and take it over on downs at the line of scrimmage.
Great coverage there by DeAndre Baker again. Debo Samuel not able to find any space at all when Baker is in coverage. He's able to get an arm in there and bat that one away and tip it to the ground.
Nice job by the Georgia defense. South Carolina was in business at our 34 after an interception by the Gamecocks, and they could go nowhere. The Dogs take over on downs, 1st and 10 at our 34-yard line. 14-7, Dogs lead, starting to get late here in the opening quarter. Less than 4 minutes to go. Elijah Holyfield in the ballgame. Play fake from under center. He's going to set and throw. Going deep ball. Riley Ridley. Oh, there's interference at the 30. Another flag comes in. Ridley and the defender Fenton got tangled up around the 25-yard line, and when Ridley tried to break towards the ball, it was a little inside between the numbers and the hash mark. There was some pushback from the defender, so we'll see what the call will be.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That'll put the Dogs near midfield now, and that's a Scana Energy first down on the long penalty by South Carolina.
No doubt about it, and I like the play call as well. We go play action, max protect, force the football downfield. Even if it's not caught, you get in the mind of these Carolina defenders that we're going to throw the football vertically, and it keeps them honest. And over time, that's going to free up some running lanes for you as well and get some of these defenders out of the box.
1st and 10 Georgia, ball on our 49-yard line. We're moving left. Holyfield takes the handoff. Fromm's trying to lead some blocking on that far side. Holyfield hit low around the knees just inside the 50-yard line, South Carolina side of the field, by Jamias Williams, secondary man from Decula, Georgia. And Holyfield goes down around the 48 of the Gamecocks. A gain of 2.5 or so, not quite a full 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Georgia in Carolina territory, leading at 14-7 late first quarter. Fromm talking to his offensive line with 12 seconds left on the play clock. Holyfield remains in the game in the backfield. Elijah takes the handoff. Left tackle steps over a man inside the 40, running hard, 35 down to the 33-yard line. A big first down. Elijah Holyfield made it look easy, and the reason so, Z, was because he had such a huge gaping hole on the left side of the line.
Right behind Solomon Kinley and Andrew Thomas, just an off-tackle play there, and those two guys opened up a massive hole. It was easy for Holyfield.
Montag made the stop. That's another Scana Energy first down. Ball on the Carolina 33, gain of 15 for Holyfield. Dogs moving again, leading at 14-7. Handoff Holyfield, draws a crowd. Nice tackle in the backfield by J.C. Horn, a freshman from Alpharetta. Came up, make the play, fought off a blocker, and then reached out an arm and tripped up Holyfield back at the 36.5-yard line.
Yeah, Isaac Nada was tasked on Horn there to secure the edge. Unable to do it as Horn able to shed that block and get upfield. And huge pursuit coming from the back end as well by that Carolina defense.
We lost 4 on the play, 2nd and 14. Brian Harrion in the backfield now for the Bulldogs. Fromm sends him in motion to the near side. Jake will throw to the opposite side of the field, and our man catches it in the flat and then is just blown up. Keyshawn Nixon with a hard hit on Mecole Hardman. How he hung onto the ball, I have no idea. He was coming down after leaping in the air to make the catch out around the 34 in front of the Georgia bench, and Nixon was laying the wood to him at the same time. Ball at the 33. We actually got positive yards out of that, 3 yards.
Well, too quick of a read there by Jake Fromm. That was a long throw. It's a quick pass. Took a long time to develop. Nixon got off of Ridley. Ridley was running wide open on a takeoff going down the field.
3rd and 10 Georgia. Ball at the Carolina 33. Swift is back in the backfield for the Dogs. Fromm, shotgun snap to the quarterback. He throws it near side. Ridley catches it at the 30. Sidesteps one man, but not another. Brought down at the 29.5 by Jamias Williams. They may spot it up as far as the 28-yard line, and they will. And the gain is 5. And that's going to bring on our field goal unit, with the line of scrimmage being the 28 of South Carolina, 4th down, and Rodrigo Blankenship will try a 45-yard field goal. Jake Camarda will be the holder. He'll kneel at the 35, near hash, kicking to the left towards the big scoreboard. Blankenship takes a look at the goalposts. Nick Moore the snap, the put down, the kick is away. It is reaching, and it is good. 45-yarder. Rodrigo Blankenship makes it 17-7. Georgia leads by 10 with 30 seconds to go. That was another all-state good hands field goal from Rodrigo Blankenship, who has turned into one of the most reliable kickers.
Gamecocks turn it over on downs, and then the sledding very, very tough on that last drive, but able to get into a position where we can kick a field goal, extend this lead a little bit. Good answers both offensively and defensively after it looked like Carolina was about to get back in this football game.
So Blankenship will kick it away. Samuel and Turner deep again. Rodrigo's kick sailing towards the back portion of the end zone, over the back line into their hedges here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Touchback yet again. And South Carolina, with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, will have the ball 1st and 10 on its own 25-yard line. And right now, come in and get exceptional offers on all BMWs in stock. Visit one of your Atlanta area BMW centers today for a test drive. Proud to be the official luxury vehicle of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWAtlanta.com. That's BMWATL.com for more offer details. Carolina on its own 25. Bentley out of the pistol. 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left in this formation. He pump fakes, pulls it down, throws it deep down the field. Almost intercepted off a tip by Richard LeCount. They're going for Deebo Samuel again. He did catch it, but he was well out of bounds under the Georgia boundary over there. We have tipped a lot of passes. They keep going to Samuel, and the Dogs are getting a hand on that ball and knocking it up in the air. It's going to be an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 for the Gamecocks back on the 25.
And when they're going against Samuel, when they're going to Samuel, it's against DeAndre Baker, who's just been excellent getting the coverage.
Bentley hit as he throws after a play fake. He fires in the direction of Brian Edwards. Hit from behind by David Marshall on a pass rush from the right edge. Pass is incomplete. And it's going to be 3rd down from the 25. Tyson Campbell was very tight coverage on Brian Edwards on this near sideline. Referees are having a discussion. I didn't see a flag at the end of that play, and I don't see one on the field at this point. Matt Luffler is our referee.
Prior to the previous play, we were paged. The previous play is under further review.
So prior to the previous play.
So I guess that one just doesn't count.
Yeah, well, they're going to go back and look at a play. It was at the tip on the sideline over there.
LeCount actually caught that football. They called him out of bounds when he caught the football, but we'll see. And if I were Coach Muschamp here, I'd be scratching my head a little bit. The other play took place and went forward.
All right, we're going to look at a replay as Samuel tipped the ball and then off the body of LeCount. And he's got the ball. Did he have a toe down inside? That's what they're looking at.
Now, he was bobbling that.
As we look at the replay, is left foot, left toe inbounds or not? Does he have possession of the ball? That's what they're trying to figure out as we take a look at this Barbasol play under review. After 100 years of making shaving cream, Barbasol finally making razors as well. That was a no-brainer, so try the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus with 6 ultra-thin blades. Now, save now at Barbasol.com. So this officiating crew is looking at the catch on a tipped ball by Richard LeCount. The ball was tipped by Samuel. Initially, I thought Georgia had tipped that, but the receiver for South Carolina tipped it, left it up in the air. LeCount tried to reel it in. He's got a toe in. Is it in bounds? He's got two hands trying to grip the football at the same time. Does he have possession? And they'll collaborate with a trio of 3 officials in Birmingham, Alabama, in SEC headquarters to determine whether or not he made the catch.
I think it's going to be tough to overturn. The camera angles that we have, you don't have a real good view of his foot. And was he completely in bounds? And matching that up with did he have control of the football, very, very tough to tell. Not sure if it's going to be conclusive enough.
And that's the key. It has to be conclusive to overturn the call on the field, which was an incomplete pass, and he was out of bounds. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Scott, remember they wanted to do this in 1:15, so I don't know if we're going to get that done.
I think we're past that, maybe double that by now. As Chuck, you and I were in that same room where those guys are collaborating right now back in August.
And let me tell you something, that's a small room with a lot of opinions.
After review, it was an incomplete pass. Please reset the game clock to 23 seconds. It'll be second down.
So they just wiped out the last play. As you said, that last play didn't exist, even though Bentley felt that hit from David Marshall, but the play didn't exist in the official record books. So South Carolina now second down and 10. 23 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter, and we'll crank this baby back up again. 17-7, Georgia leading South Carolina here late first quarter, final seconds of the period. They bring a man in motion, and Bentley fumbles the snap. He dives for it. We dive on it. Marshall couldn't quite get to it. Bentley able to dive forward behind the line of scrimmage and fall on that loose football. Donnell Stanley, the center, and Bentley. Snap looked okay initially.
I don't think he was expecting the football.
No, he wasn't.
Timeout.
And he hit him down around the knees. He wasn't.
Timeout, South Carolina.
He was looking left.
Seconds.
His hands were down, but Stanley sent the snap firing back, and he wasn't ready. But Carolina lucky right there that they were able to keep the football. Bentley alertly dove forward on it, and he'll lose a couple of yards, but Carolina maintains the possession at their own 23-yard line. 16 seconds for 7. Dogs defense held firm after Jake Fromm was intercepted by Rashad Fenton, who returned it to the Georgia 34, but Gamecocks turned the ball over on downs, and then Georgia came down and answered with a 45-yard field goal by Rodrigo Blankenship, and that's where we stand, 17-7 with 16 seconds left in the first quarter. South Carolina had called a timeout, and now they're back at the line of scrimmage where it is 3rd and 12 from their own 23-yard line.
Dogs have been very, very aggressive with their defensive looks. A lot of single safety and bringing an awful lot of pressure, trying to create havoc for Carolina.
2 receivers to each side for the Gamecocks. Bentley throws it over the middle. It's caught there, and they cover up an official. My goodness. 2 Bulldogs made the stop on Debo Samuel, Reed, and was it Baker? Or DeAndre Baker and J.R. Reed, and the umpire got caught up in the mix as well. Pass was caught at the 32.5, and that's going to be 4th down. He did not get the first down. He needed to get to the 35. He got to the 32.5. Into the quarter, finally. Georgia leads 17-7 over South Carolina. Second quarter action coming up next here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. South Carolina ball, 4th down on their own 33-yard line. Joseph Charlton in punt formation on 4th and 2. And it's Akeel Crumpton, the deep receiver, back for Georgia. Charlton's punt, long wobbly spiral. Crumpton over to his left, catches it at the 25, hit at the 27, spun around, far sideline, up the field and out of bounds near the 35. After he got hit and twisted a little bit, they will mark Crumpton out of bounds at the Bulldog 34-yard line. Keyshawn Nixon, a senior defensive back, made the tackle. It was a 42-yard punt and a 9-yard return by Akeel Crumpton.
And a great decision there by Crumpton. Thought about reversing field and taking that back into the field. Had a lot of Garnet jerseys out there. Made a decision just to tightrope up the sideline to get an additional 3 or 4 yards and forego the potential big play because it could have been disastrous.
1st and 10 Dogs on our own 34-yard line. We're moving to the right now. From under center, handoff to Brian Harrion. Bounces out to the right. Finds a little bit of space there up close to the 40 on the run, up the near hash mark. Ball on the 39. Keir Thomas, defensive tackle from Miami, Florida, made the tackle for the South Carolina defense. The gain is 5 to the 39. 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs.
That's more like it there. Good push by that massive right side of this Georgia offensive line. Ben Cleveland 335, Isaiah Wilson 340.
Gilliard, the center, snaps to Fromm, hands off to Harrion, runs to the left. It's a race to the edge, can't get to the corner. Harrion has it stretched out on him. He leans in for anything he can get. He got about a half yard, not quite to the 40, as he is forced out of bounds on the Georgia sideline. And now the Dogs will get DeAndre Swift into the ball game on 3rd down and 5 for the Dogs. 4.5 maybe.
Dogs 0 for 2 on 3rd down, and this 3rd down set up. A couple of Carolina defensive linemen able to shoot different gaps there to negate that last running play.
Carolina rushes 3. We throw to Swift in the left flat. They grab him around the collar. He breaks away, keeps running. He got the 1st down. They tried to horse collar him, and DeAndre pulled away, kept the legs driving, got to the 45, and a scan of energy 1st down for the Bulldogs and DeAndre Swift up to that 45-yard line, a gain of 6 on 2nd effort.
Unbelievable strength and unbelievable effort there by DeAndre Swift. That play looked like it was going nowhere. It was defended very well, but somehow DeAndre Swift able to break that one-arm tackle and find a way to get the 1st down.
Swift was the Dogs' leading receiver last week with 4 catches. Now he'll see what he can do with his legs. Spin move, and he spins away from one Garnet shirt right into 3 more. Eldridge Thompson, linebacker, hits the stop. DeAndre Swift, nowhere to go. Going to lose some yardage on the play. Loss of a little more than a yard. Ball back on the 44-yard line. 2nd and 11 for Georgia.
Yeah, Dogs bringing pressure. Carolina doing the same thing. They're a corner blitz from the boundary corner. DeAndre Swift spins right into him for no gain.
12:32 on the clock. Clock moving, 2nd quarter. Georgia 17, Carolina 7. Fromm now on 2nd and 11. Drops back to pass, looks left, throws in that direction, and did Carolina bat it away? We were trying to go to Simmons. I think the ball just sailed over everybody. One of the linebackers for the Gamecocks jumped in the air, tried to get a hand on it, but it was incomplete on the far side as Simmons was the target, but incomplete. It's 3rd down and 11 now. Dogs on our own 44.
Pretty good ball thrown there by Fromm. That was a comeback by Simmons, and Simmons came out of his break not expecting it. I think that play was designed to go to the right side. Fromm saw the coverage and went away from where it was originally designed, and Simmons just not expecting the football.
Fromm with time, rolls to the left. There's a defender there. He cuts back inside, nowhere to go. He goes to the turf. He's sacked. Keir Thomas. He had 3 receivers on the right side. Fromm with a lot of time to look downfield, ran out of time, and then tried to escape out the left door, and there were Carolina defenders right there waiting for him. Sacked back on the 38-yard line. Loss of 6. It's punt time for the Bulldogs with 11:50 to go, 2nd quarter.
Well, coverage sack there for Carolina, and the Georgia offense just looks a little bit out of sync right now.
There's Jake Camarda punting to Brian Edwards. He's running to the far side, calls for a fair catch, going to land inside the 5 at the 3 and bounce into the end zone for the touchback. 62-yard punt by Camarda. Touchback and Carolina will have the ball at the 20-yard line. 11:36 to go, second quarter. Georgia leads by 10. It's the Dogs 17. The game. Along with Eric Zier, Scott Howard with you here in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth inside Williams-Brice Stadium. Our spotters, Neil Williamson and Chris Schiavone. Our producer in the booth, Tony Schiavone. Jay Black is our statistician. Zach Jewell is our network studio producer. South Carolina 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. They will run it with Rico Dowdle. He's upended, hit low, and knocked to the turf hard just as he crossed the 20-yard line. Got a yard, and he paid for it at the 21. It'll be 2nd and 9. Robert Beal, the linebacker, and Natrez Patrick with a good hard hit for the Georgia defense.
Anything on the ground's been tough for Carolina. Before that play, Carolina averaging 0.9 yards per carry.
Ouch. They shift Dowdle out of the pistol. Bentley in the shotgun now. And he'll give it to Dowdle. Running right, trying to get in there behind some blocking, behind some beef, get some protection this time, try to move a little bit on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of space there. He did get 5 yards to the 26, however. Mikhail Carter and Tyson Campbell up to make the stop for Georgia. It's 3rd down for Carolina, 3rd and 3. And the ball is on the Gamecock 27-yard line.
Yeah, and finally for Carolina, a push up front against this Georgia defensive line to get this in a 3rd and medium situation, much more manageable.
Blake Camper, the right tackle for Carolina, 6'8" and 310. Sedarius Hutcherson, the right guard, 6'4" and 310. That's where Dowdle ran on that last play. Here's the snap to Bentley on 3rd down. Short throw and a crossing route. He hits Edwards. Crossing from right to left. No, that's Keel Pollard, the tight end from Moultrie, Georgia. Natrez Patrick made the tackle for Georgia, but it's a 1st down for South Carolina. Ball up to the 32, a pickup of 11. Gamecocks go fast, are up to the line, ready for the snap. Bentley, empty set in the shotgun, will throw. Caught by Dowdle right flat. We dive at his legs at the 36. Missed the tackle. That was Patrick. Dowdle gets a few more yards after the missed tackle by the Dogs up to the 43. Monty Rice made the stop. A little bit farther downfield. They'll bring it back to the 42-yard line. That's 10 more yards and a 1st down.
Carolina flooded the zone there. We were playing just a 3-deep zone and back over to the receiver in the flat very late.
Carolina running fast. Here is Williams now out of the backfield, curling around to the near side, running left and up the field into Georgia territory, across the 50 to the 49, stopped by the sophomore linebacker Monty Rice, Madison, Alabama. And it's a gain of 8.5. Richard LeCount also in there as well for the Dogs defense. But a good run on 1st down by the Gamecocks. They're moving fast. They're in Georgia territory at the 49. Gamecocks moving to our left as we watch it. Handoff again. Tyson Williams spins away from the man. Rice was trying to grab a hold of him and wrap him up, and Williams kept spinning and falls across the 45 to the 44-yard line. He got 5 yards and a 1st down.
Well, a good strong run there by Williams. Monty Rice had him and held on to him as well, but not before he could spin and find a couple of additional yards.
Under 9 minutes to go. 1st half. We're in the 2nd quarter. Georgia 17, South Carolina 7, but driving now at the Georgia 44-yard line. Bentley with a snap. Play fake. Want to read and throw, and he will complete the pass at the Georgia 35 to the tight end Casey Crosby, just outside the far hash, running to his right. He's tackled on the sideline by Richard LeCount at the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 18 yards and another Carolina 1st down. They've got it 1st and 10 at the Georgia 26, and their offense going no huddle and moving rapidly.
That's a 3rd crossing route that Carolina's thrown against a variety of coverages now, but they're finding success. We're getting lost as those receivers are crossing the field.
2nd catch for Crosby today. Bentley going to run. Here comes pressure. Here come whistles now. I think we wanted it.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Today's broadcast is live from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth.
8:18 to play, 1st half, 2nd quarter action, 17-7. Georgia with the lead over South Carolina. Gamecocks with the ball at the Georgia 26-yard line. They're facing a 1st and 10 when play resumes. Jake Bentley, the quarterback, taking South Carolina down the field here. This possession began back on the 20 as they sit on Georgia's 26 now. Bentley 11 of 19, 92 yards and an interception so far today. Back in the shotgun is Bentley. Looking downfield, going to loft it up, fade on the right side, broken up around the 2 on the far side of the field, trying to go to Dowdle out of the backfield. Richard LeCount in coverage, helped to break up the pass. It's incomplete at the 2. They knocked out the pylon right there on the front edge of the end zone there. Natrez Patrick was in pursuit as well down there at the end of the play.
Really good read there by LeCount, able to read Jake Bentley's eyes. Bentley got locked in on his receiver early in that play, and LeCount able to come from a safety position and almost in a spot to pick that one off.
2nd 10 Carolina from the Dogs 26. They'll hand it off straight ahead. Tyson Williams spins away from one man over the pile, reaching the ball out, crossing the 20. He never touched the ground. He was just moving off bodies already laying on the ground, and Williams gets the ball just inside the 20, a gain of 6.
Boy, another missed tackle right in the hole. We weren't missing those early in the football game. As this quarter is worn on, you've seen it more and more. Initial contact, we're not able to get Gamecocks onto the ground.
I think he tumbled over Crowder and Poole, and Tyson Campbell finally made the stop. 3rd down 3 Gamecocks. Ball just inside the Georgia 20. Bentley pump fake. We blitz. They throw a screen to the near side. Got to make an open field tackle, and we do just barely. J.R. Reed gets the legs of Williams. Tripped up at the 13-yard line. That saved a score perhaps, but Carolina gets the first down and a new set of downs at the Georgia 13.
Boy, another screen pass dialed up in the perfect situation as the Dogs brought pressure. Nobody was out there. Great open field tackle by J.R. Reed.
Got just enough of his leg to get him to the turf. 1st and 10, however, Gamecocks at the Dogs' 13-yard line. It's 17-7 Georgia. Bentley, shotgun snap, roll out to the right, throw on the run. Caught running out of bounds is Shi Smith, 5'10" sophomore receiver from Union, South Carolina. Tyson Campbell shoves him out of bounds just outside the 6-yard line. He got 7 on the play, and it's 2nd and about 3 to go for the Gamecocks. They trail by 10. We're under 7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter.
Another smart call there by Carolina, moving the pocket, changing intentionally the launch point there for Jake Bentley to get him a clear throwing lane and an easy pitch and catch.
3 receivers in tight on the near side for the Gamecocks. 1 out wide to the right. Bentley to throw. No, he's going to pull it down. The pocket squeezed. He kept it down, and Georgia will stop him at the 8 or 9 yard line. DeAndre Walker leading the defensive surge for Georgia, the linebacker from Fairburn. Bentley had nowhere to go with the ball. He could feel the pocket squeezing shut. He tried to step up and run, and he's going to lose yardage back to the 9. A loss of 3 on the sack by Walker. 3rd down, 6 to go for the Gamecocks. 6:10 to go. 2nd quarter. They shift the man in the backfield. That's Williams. Bentley looks to the left, throws it towards the end zone, and incomplete into the hedge. Went out of bounds over everyone's head. We had Baker back there trying to go to Shi Smith. He was the target. And Tyreek McGee was in coverage, but you can't cover 5, 6, 7 yards out of bounds. So 4th down for the Gamecocks. They're going to try to get on the board with a field goal here.
Well, great coverage there by the Dogs, and Dogs bend a little bit but don't break, force the field goal. And that Georgia defense has been on the field for a long time this first half. As we get the ball back, it would be great to see this Georgia offense to go on just a grinding kind of drive and chew up some clock.
From the 17, Parker White will try for the field goal. The kick is up and good on the 27-yard field goal by the South Carolina sophomore, and the Gamecocks add 3 to their side. It's 17-10 now here in the 2nd quarter. Timeout with less than 6 minutes. We're inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at Williams-Brice. South Carolina with a 26-yard Parker White field goal to make it 17-10. White will kick it away. Hardman is the deep receiver. He'll let that ball sail over his head, land midway into the end zone. The ball is blown dead. It'll be a touchback Bulldogs. Georgia will have it First and 10 at the 25. And thus far, South Carolina's run 38 offensive plays. Georgia only 19, but the Dogs lead by 7.
Yeah, and held the football for 14 minutes and 23 seconds. Dogs have had it for 9:40. So important here for the Dogs to chew up some clock. We get the ball coming out of halftime. If we can find a way to put points on the board right now and then capitalize at the start of the third quarter, can get a little separation. But outside of that pick six and a fumble recovery for a touchdown, that is, this game's been pretty even.
Dogs first and 10, 25. From quick throw. Hardman makes an adjustment, makes the catch up the near sideline across the 30, close to the first down marker at the 35-yard line before he steps out of bounds. Mecole really made that play work. Fromm's pass was off target behind it. He leaped back, reached high in the air, pulled it down, and then got about 10 yards on it. 9.5, maybe not quite a first down. Second down and a half yard to go, just shy of our 35.
Well, that throw had to be off target as Nixon, the cornerback from Carolina, read that play all the way, almost picked it off if Fromm hadn't to put that on the outside shoulder.
Hand off DeAndre Swift. He runs right into the middle linebacker. T.J. Brunson tries to spin, gets a couple of extra feet on the spin move, but Swift picks up the first down at the 38.5, a 3-yard gain. First and 10, Georgia. South Carolina's field goal scoring drive covered 71 yards. It was 14 plays, and they took a lot of time. 5:39 off the clock. A long possession by that South Carolina offense kept our defense out there. That's why we need to hold the ball for a little while here. Swift and Holyfield in the backfield. They split. Fromm will throw. Wide open, caught at the 50. Coming back this way first is Terry Godwin, who makes his first catch of the year. Now he tries to curl back upfield, and he does so, getting across the 50 into Carolina territory. J.T. Ebay made the tackle, the safety from Mansfield, Texas, at the Carolina 49. It's a first down for the Bulldogs.
Carolina forcing us to throw the football downfield. They are jumping all over our bubble screens and the quick flare game that we have coming out of the backfield that we use really as running games just to get on the edge. Carolina very quick and coming up to get those things covered right now.
12-yard gain for Terry Godwin on the pass from Fromm. Here's Swift now with a carry, runs at right tackle, a little bit deeper into Carolina territory, down to the 43.5. Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle, made the stop, but Swift driving his legs for another 5.5, almost 6 yards.
Yeah, huge run right there on first down. Good job by Ben Cleveland and Andrew Thomas, and exactly what the Dogs want to do. Establish some kind of a run game. We've been pretty successful doing it, with this Carolina defense still very fresh.
Holyfield now in the game. He'll get the carry. Bounces out right, 40, 35, and forced out of bounds on an angle into the South Carolina sideline by Keyshawn Nixon, the senior cornerback from Compton, California. Holyfield picks up 8, however, and they'll put the ball back on the near hash. Georgia driving pretty steadily here with 3:50, now less than that to go in the half, and leading 17-10. Ball's at the Carolina 35-yard line.
Good job by Riley Ridley on the outside as Holyfield bounced that one to the outside. Ridley stayed engaged on his play, stayed engaged on his man.
Two tight end formation, both lined up on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Holyfield in the backfield. Play fake. Fromm. Oh, never saw the man on a blitz. Daniel Fennell. The rush in came right up the gut, and Fromm was just getting into his set, never saw him, and Fromm is sacked back on the 43.5-yard line, a loss of 8.
Boy, and that should have been picked up too. Charlie Warner was on the edge, responsible for protection, just got run over. Nothing Fromm could do there at the top of his 7-step drop. He had a Carolina Garnet helmet right in his chest.
Second sack of the afternoon by Carolina's defense. That makes the task a little more difficult. 2nd and 18, Georgia, 2:50 on the clock, second quarter. Ball back on the 43, handoff Holyfield. He runs to the left, trying to get some blocks inside the 40, back to the 37 or so, as Carolina's defense had congregated on that side of the field to stop Elijah Holyfield.
All you're trying to do there, if you're the Georgia offense, is get into a third in some kind of manageable position. We did it somewhat, still 3rd and long here, but a number of plays can get you 12 yards to pick up.
That was a 6-yard gain by Holyfield. Now we go empty. 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. Now Nauta comes out of the slot in motion across the formation to the left. Fromm, quick throw, to Crumpton over the middle and incomplete off his fingertips. Akil Crumpton had to dive, leave his feet for it. Jamias Williams in coverage. Williams right there with Crumpton, but Akil couldn't get his hands wrapped around the ball, and it's an incomplete pass. And now it's 4th down. Georgia on the Carolina 37-yard line. Looks like we're going to send in the punt unit.
Boy, Dogs had what we wanted there, too. Carolina played single safety, just had a slant. Crumpton able to get inside against his defender. If that ball was on target, Crumpton had plenty of room to run, would have easily picked up the first down.
Looked like Fromm may have rushed it just a tad. Here's Camarda going to try to pooch it, hanging it high. It's got backspin on it. It's going to be caught inside the 10. Fair catch by South Carolina's Brian Edwards. He'll make the fair catch at the 8-yard line. So mission accomplished by Georgia. Only a 29-yard punt, but we pinned them inside the 10, which is what they wanted to do. 1:59 to go, second quarter. 17-10. Georgia leads. Timeout here in South Carolina. Back in a moment. Bulldogs Sports Network. 1:59 to go in the half. Let's pause. Station identification. Bulldogs Sports Network. Bentley will pass from the 8, just dumps it over the line of scrimmage to Brian Edwards, who made the catch, stopped by Jawan Taylor and Monty Rice, just shy of the 15. The gain is about 6. Second down and 4 for Carolina. They go quickly. They've got Dowdle out in the open on the right flat. He reaches, making a twisting catch. And up the field he goes across the 30 to the 31.
Great read there by Bentley. Dowdle, just a flat route coming out of the backfield. Dogs were in 2-man, and we actually picked our linebacker inadvertently, obviously, but Dowdle wide open space there. 17
yards and a first down. Bentley will throw again. Pass is batted by Barnett at the line of scrimmage. Hits the turf, incomplete. Big Michael Barnett, 6'4", 300-pounder. This is his home state. He's made a couple of nice plays today for the Bulldog defense. 1:29 to go in the half. Carolina trailing Georgia 17-10. Dogs defense trying to keep South Carolina from mounting some kind of a late first half drive here. Gamecocks started at their own 8-yard line. They're up on the 31 now. Bentley in the shotgun. 4 receivers set, 2 to each side. Out of the backfield as well. Bentley with pressure from behind will unleash the ball. Throw. It's caught on the near sideline by Debo Samuel at the Gamecock 40-yard line. Hit hard out of bounds there by DeAndre Baker. Knocked him out of bounds. He didn't hit him out of bounds. But Samuel went up high for his 3rd catch of the game. The gain is 9 up to the 40-yard line, and it's 3rd down and a yard for South Carolina. Shotgun snap, Bentley. Quick throw, Samuel catches it at the 43. Again, hit immediately by DeAndre Baker, but a first down for the Gamecocks, stopping the clock temporarily with 80 seconds to go.
Steady diet of zone defense right now by the Dogs all game long. We've been single safety, bringing pressure. This drive, cover 2, cover 8.
From the 43, Bentley in the pocket, surrounded, throws over the middle. Samuel can't catch the low ball this time around the Georgia 44-yard line. Tried to bend over and get the hands down low to reel it in. It goes incomplete instead. That stops the clock with 66 seconds to go in the half. And South Carolina gets a little bit of a breather as they've been going hurry up this entire possession.
I'm sure the Dogs here just want to keep the football in front of them. No cheap points at all. But when you've got a quarterback skilled the way Jake Bentley is, and weapons like he's got weapons on the outside, zone defenses, if you can apply pressure with your front 4, allows the quarterback a lot of time to dissect you.
Second down and 10 for the Gamecocks from their own 43. Bentley with pressure dumps the ball off at the last second when they got the ball just across their own 48-yard line. If you know someone who makes an impact on their community team, UGA presented by Georgia Power is accepting nominations for members who demonstrate an unselfish giving attitude. Submit your nominations at georgiadogs.com. Carolina on 3rd and 5 up to their own 48-yard line, ready to go. Better than 40 plays already for South Carolina. Bentley will throw. He's got a man streaking down the far sideline. We had it covered pretty well. Rico Dowdle took a pop from Richard LeCount as the ball went sailing by him. He's slow to get up. And Georgia's got a man shaken up back on the other end. That's DeAndre Walker, I believe. Now he's up on his feet, but still bending over at the waist. Takes a helmet off and goes down to the turf. They're looking at him. So two guys shaken up on that play, one of ours and one of theirs. Georgia's people are tending to DeAndre Walker, our linebacker, back behind the South Carolina offense. Clock is stopped with 50 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
And this Carolina crowd wanted the targeting on Richard LeCount, not even close to it. Dowdle was actually going down and ran into the shoulder of LeCount. LeCount did a good job of actually pulling his body weight up off of him and minimizing the hit.
So we come to a stoppage of play with an injury timeout. And Dowdle got up. He's off the field for South Carolina, or at least back in the huddle. And meanwhile, DeAndre Walker still being tended to by the Georgia health and training staff. They've got him sitting up on the field. His helmet is off. The Champions for Charity game is on every time we win. Camp Twin Lakes, the Salvation Army, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities. And for postseason game, the Dogs win, Walton Gas will donate $5,000. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas. All right, Walker's up, but he's having to be assisted off, and that's not good news for Georgia. He's got an arm draped around two trainers as one of the trainers carries his helmet to the sidelines. What were the numbers again, Jay, for DeAndre? 4 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack, all in the first half for the senior linebacker from Fairburn, Georgia, DeAndre Walker. South Carolina will have to punt here on 4th down. Charlton to kick it away. We don't have anybody back. And the ball will land where? He shanked it off the right side of his foot. They're still walking up the sideline to the 33-yard line. Well, there's 43 seconds left. Georgia will have the ball at our own 33. We could get a couple of hits maybe and into Carolina territory. And we have a good weapon with Rodrigo Blankenship on the sideline. Only a 19-yard punt by South Carolina.
Yeah, big mistake there by Carolina with the shank punt. You're absolutely right. We are in field position right now with plenty of time to see if we can do something. Still 2 timeouts left as well.
All right, here we go from our own 33 with 43 seconds to go in the quarter. Rodrigo just wants a shot. Fromm will throw complete to Nauta at the 43. Facing back to the line of scrimmage, had 3 defenders hit him in the back as soon as he caught the ball, but up to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 10, and Georgia will call a timeout.
Timeout, Georgia. 30 seconds. Gamecock operator, please reset the game clock to 33 seconds. 33 seconds, please.
They'll add a second back to the game clock, says referee Matt Leffler. And the Dogs will huddle up on their far sideline. 1 timeout remaining for Georgia. Dogs leading by 7, 17-10.
Reset the game clock to 33 seconds. 33 seconds, please.
The referee with a little more emphasis that time for the game clock operator.
Just a curl route there by Nauta. Turned right at the sticks. When he caught it, his momentum brought him back a little bit. If he would have stayed beyond the sticks, Dogs wouldn't have had to burn a timeout there, as they would have been able to get up as the clock temporarily stopped with the first down.
Comcast scoreboard. Mississippi State beat Kansas State today 31-10. South Florida over Georgia Tech 49-38. Those are 2 finals that are in. 2nd and a yard for the Dogs. Ball on the 43, our own 43. Fromm in the pocket, throws it. Crossing route caught by Ridley from right to left, catches it across the 47. Heads out of bounds into Carolina territory at the 44-yard line of the Gamecocks. J.C. Horn runs him out of bounds. They'll bring it back just outside the Carolina 45, however. But a good run and to get out of bounds by Ridley. Heads up play by the senior receiver for Georgia.
And a good job by Fromm, hanging tough in the pocket. He had a couple of Carolina Gamecocks scrambling at his feet. Fromm able to keep his composure, find Ridley on the crossing route, and a good strength there by Ridley to get as much as he could in terms of yardage to still get out of bounds.
And he got 13 yards. 1st and 10 at the Gamecock 45 for the Dogs. Fromm sets and throws. Long throw across the near side. Ridley again makes the catch, tries to juke a man. Didn't get out of bounds. Yes, he did. Or they stop it on the first down. He caught it at the 35-yard line. And they stopped the clock. Or at least the official did temporarily. He waved for the clock to stop, but it's moving. On the 35. Clock is ticking. Fromm runs. Looking downfield, looking now. He's just going to have to angle out of bounds, get what he can. He steps out around the 27 or so with 6 seconds to go. Nothing downfield, so Jake took off running to the right and veered out of bounds around the 27-yard line, and Georgia's going to try a field goal right here, I believe. 6 seconds remaining in the half. Well within the range of Rodrigo Blankenship. He wants the spot at the 34-yard line. Near hash, kicking to the right. A 44-yard try by Rodrigo Blankenship. He connected earlier for Georgia here in the half on a 45-yarder.
Time, South Carolina. 30 seconds.
Carolina will call a timeout here and let Georgia think about it a little bit longer. 6 seconds remain in the half. Georgia trying to go up by 10 at the end of the first half. We lead 17-10 here in Columbia. Georgia Power brings the energy for every game day and to your community too. Visit georgiapower.com/sports to learn more. A couple of scores from the Comcast Business Scoreboard. Tennessee 10, East Tennessee State nothing. That's in the second quarter in Knoxville. Ole Miss and Southern Illinois tied at 21. That's a second quarter score in Oxford, Mississippi. Notre Dame 14, Ball State 3 in the second. All right, we'll try it again. 44-yard try. Rodrigo Blankenship, junior kicker from Marietta, will try to put the Dogs up by 10. Jake Camarda, the freshman punter, is the holder. Nick Moore is the snapper. Snap is a little bit high. Camarda puts it down, and the kick is away, and the kick is good into the net. 44-yarder, Rodrigo Blankenship. And that's how the half ends, and that's another All-State good hands field goal as the Dogs go up by 10 at the end of the first half. Blankenship 2 for 2 on his field goal tries here in this ball game thus far, and it's Georgia 20 and South Carolina 10.
What a great job there by the Dogs on that drive to take advantage of the shank punt, find a way to get 3 points. Very calm on that 2-minute drive, taking what the defense gave us to get into field goal range. A big 3 points, and we get the ball coming out at half.
So that was the kick was 34 yards. I'm looking for the drive in the distance, and at 40 yards. All right, let's go down to the sidelines, and Chuck Dowdle's got the coach.
Come on, Coach. Good way to finish that half, and you got the lead on the scoreboard. And you get the ball coming out in the second half, but what concerns you going in?
Well, the passing game for them, taking some shots. They hit us on trick play. Got a young corner out there who's got to play with disciplined eyes. I think offensively, we just self-destruct a couple times. If we don't self-destruct, we're hard to stop.
All right, thank you, Coach. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, there you go. He's right. If they don't self-destruct a couple of times, they are tough to stop. I'll look for them to come out here. They got that 10-point lead going in here at halftime, and they get the ball to start to.
Scott Howard, Eric Zier back here at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, getting ready for the start of the second half. Now it's time for the Northside Impact, sponsored by Northside Hospital Atlanta. We diagnose and treat more new cancer cases than any other hospital in Georgia, providing care at 48 cancer centers. You can learn more at builttobeatcancer.com. How about some second half adjustments brought to you by and served up by Buffalo Wild Wings, the proud hangout for Georgia athletics. Wings, beer, sports. Z, quickly, how about a couple of adjustments for the Dogs as they get ready to take the kickoff here in the second half?
Offensive side of the ball, really, it's the elimination of some self-inflicted wounds that have put us in third and long positions. We've been poor on third down, but it's because we've been third and long for the majority of the first half. We've got to find a way to run the football very aggressively, get ourselves into third and medium, third and short situations, extend some drives on the defensive side of the ball. Only thing that's really hurt us are these short, shallow crossing routes by Carolina. Whether we've been in man or in zone, we're getting lost on some crossing routes where we're either getting picked or just not in proper positions in our zone.
All right, here we go to start the second half. Parker White will kick it away and over the head of Nicole Hardman, who is in the end zone. It'll hit the back line of the end zone for the touchback. And the Dogs will start the second half on offense, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line as we watch it here high above the field in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth at Williams-Brice Stadium. Dogs will be back home next Saturday to host Middle Tennessee State University. There'll be a night game, a 7:15 start. We'll be on the air with you at 3 o'clock to begin our coverage of Bulldogs football back in Athens next Saturday. 20-10 to start the second half. Rodrigo Blankenship with his second field goal of the half as the first half came to an end, a 45-yarder to give the Dogs a 10-point lead. Here's Swift with the first touch of the second half. He'll break tackles at the line of scrimmage, angle to the left across the 35 and upended at the 38-yard line by Rashad Fenton, who cut his legs out from under him. And Swift gives, we've got an injured lineman back at the line of scrimmage. Andrew Thomas is injured, slow to get up. Training staff out to him quickly. He's laying face down. They're rolling him on his side and onto his back as we speak. Swift went from the 25 to the 38-yard line, a gain of 13 yards and a first down. But Georgia with a man down on the field right now and an important player, and Andrew Thomas, our left tackle. And now Cade Mays will check into the ball game. The freshman from the state of Tennessee will join the huddle on the far side of the field.
Number 77.
Just 7 seconds into the second half. Dogs lost DeAndre Walker in the first half. I never got an update on his condition at halftime, so we're not sure what DeAndre's situation is as I speak. He's coming out of the locker room now, running through the end zone, surrounded by trainers with his helmet in his hand, and Walker rejoining the team right on cue there as he heads to the far sideline. So he may be good to go here in the second half, but they're tending to Andrew Thomas right now. Georgia Power brings the energy for every game day and to your community too. Visit georgiapower.com/sports to learn more. Let's check in with Chuck Dowdle on the Cooks Pest Control sidelines. Chuck.
Well, as they help Andrew Thomas off, and you hate to see that. You mentioned DeAndre Walker coming back out and looked pretty good. I do not have official word yet from the staff, but he certainly looked good as he ran by. Boy, and I tell you, Andrew Thomas being ever so ginger as he walks off. One thing to keep in mind, James Cook now available in this half for Georgia. When I walked back toward the locker room at halftime, they had a big rubber strip out by the locker room that he was running on and then stretching out on and getting ready. I'm not sure we'll see him in the backfield, but I do feel like you're going to see him somewhere in this game, certainly on special teams at some point.
He's certainly fresh. Thanks, Chuck. And Andrew Thomas slowly tried to see if he could put enough pressure on his leg. It might be his left leg. I'm not sure what the injury is, obviously, but he couldn't walk off under his own power, so he drapes both of those big, massive arms around the shoulders of two trainers, and they'll take him into the medical tent on the far side of the field. Meanwhile, back to action. 38-yard line is where the Dogs have the ball. They just picked up a Scana Energy first down on the Swift run. 1st and 10, our 38. Early seconds of the third quarter. Swift hesitates as he runs at right tackle. Stutter steps a little bit and up to the 40-yard line. Swift helped up by Isaac Nauta and will kind of hobble a little bit to the far side of the field, back to the sideline as Holyfield checks into the ball game.
Boy, far too many people hobbling off the field right now for the Dogs to make me feel comfortable.
Boy, you're not kidding. Not at all. All right, the gain was a couple. 2nd down and 8 from our 40 for the Dogs. Shotgun snap to Fromm. Will set and throw. Passes to the right side to Riley Ridley, right on the Carolina sideline. He caught it at the 48, veered inside to try to get some more yardage, and Nixon will stop him at the 48.5 for 49-yard line. That's another Scana Energy first down, a gain of 9. Moved the sticks for the Dogs as we near midfield.
Great timing there by Jake Fromm. Just a hitch route on the outside by Ridley. No way that can be defended when it's thrown that accurately and that on time.
Fromm will hand it off to Holyfield. He's got a gap behind Mays at left tackle, and right up the chute he goes and into Carolina territory near the 41-yard line. Sherrod Green, a linebacker for the Gamecocks, makes the stop at the 41. That's a gain of 10 and another first down, brought to you by Scana Energy. Dogs moving fast. Fake it to Holyfield, sling it out to Hardman. With Riley Ridley blocking a wide receiver screen on the right. Hardman makes the catch down to the 34-yard line. Keyshawn Nixon on the stop for the Carolina defense. It's 7 more yards. It's second down and 3. Dogs offense moving rapidly.
Quick bubble screen to the outside. Hardman just stuck his head in the turf, knowing that he misread that block.
We'll go to Mecole on the left side. Catches it 30, 20, pulls away, 10, 5, touchdown, Mecole Hardman.
Boy, great block on the outside. Was that Tyler Simmons? Fantastic block by Tyler. It was the same play we just ran where Mecole Hardman misread the block on the other side by Riley Ridley. This time doesn't misread it at all. Dogs had single safety, man-to-man on the outside. We just flip a quick bubble screen out to Hardman. Same play, other side. This time, Hardman doesn't hesitate, turns on the Jets, and that's a way to answer the bell coming out of halftime.
Broke away from Stephen Montack, the safety from Covington, and went 34 yards down the sideline for the touchdown to put the Dogs up 26-10 with the point after try pending from Rodrigo Blankenship. And we've got movement on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Carolina jumped and then we moved, and flags are down. That touchdown sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. Matt Leffler has the call.
Offside on the defense. Number 6. That penalty is declined. Replay the try.
All right, they'll reset and try the kick again. Blankenship will step it off. 27-10. Blankenship makes the point. The snap and the hold. The kick is in the air. And the kick is good. 27-10. Georgia leading South Carolina. Early minutes of quarter number 3. 12:55 to go in the third period. The Dogs up by 17. Timeout on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Back here in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth at Williams-Brice Stadium. Dogs have jumped out by 17 now with 12:55 to go in the third quarter. It's 27-10. And the Dogs went 75 yards in 6 plays. A 34-yard TD pass from Jake Fromm to Mecole Hardman. That's Hardman's second touchdown catch of the season. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary as we watch Blankenship kick sail over the back line of the end zone for the touchback. Georgia Metals drive summary: from a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Leading by 17. Let's go down to the sidelines. Chuck Dowdle, Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Scott, I want you to recall that the last thing that Kirby said to us as he went into the locker room at halftime is, when we don't self-destruct, we're tough to stop. And there you saw it. They didn't self-destruct on that drive.
And they were tough to stop because South Carolina couldn't stop, and they couldn't catch Mecole Hardman once he got the ball on that last play.
No, and he had one that he misread. That one he didn't. Pretty impressive.
Bentley with a low snap, picks it up, play fake, fires, is batted away at the line of scrimmage. That was Tyler Clark, excuse me.
Boy, great job by Tyler Clark. Can't get to the quarterback. You were taught to get your hands into the throwing lane. Exactly what he did.
Pass batted away by Big Clark, 6'4" and 300 pounds from Americus. Second and 10. Gamecocks from their 25, trailing 27-10. Bentley and the Gamecock offense working the shade here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Stands in the pocket, throws it, dumps it straight over to Deebo Samuel. He's got 2 guys on him. We wrap him up with Richard LeCount up high and DeAndre Baker, and they drive him back. Forward progress up to the 33-yard line. Gain of 8.
Good read there by LeCount. Dogs were in quarter half coverage. Richard LeCount in part of that quarter, so saw the underneath route coming. That time we don't sit back, we attack it, and able to limit the gain on the play.
Deebo Samuel, only 5 catches today, or he has 5 catches rather, but only 25 yards. The Dogs have done a terrific job keeping him in front of the defense. Carolina in the shotgun with Bentley. He'll throw a bullet over the middle, and it's broken up at the 40-yard line on 3rd and 2. Broken up by Patrick and Taylor, our 2 linebackers. Was trying to force it in there to the tight end Casey Crosby on 3rd down. Failed to do so. The Dogs break it up. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down South Carolina, and they'll put the punt unit out on the field.
Another good job there of the Dogs, understanding the situation in the game. 3rd and short, you know where the sticks are. Everybody defensively very quick to converge on pass routes in front of them.
Here's Joseph Charlton to punt it away. Akeel Crumpton moves to his right, makes the fair catch at the 25-yard line, hugging the near sideline. Punt was 42 yards, fair catch at the 25. It'll be the Dogs' ball when we come back. 11:55 to go, 3rd quarter. All right, let's pause for ID. Station identification, Bulldogs Network. First and 10, Georgia on our 25. Handoff, DeAndre Swift. They yank him down from behind. Wow, that was Rick Sandage, a 6'5", 285-pound freshman. As it looked like Swift's legs went forward and his body went backwards the way that tackle was made. He loses almost 2 full yards back to the 23. Tried to run it left tackle, but no blocking there, and Sandage made a nice stop.
Now just beat everywhere up front. Hard to sustain drives when you're playing from behind the chains.
Fromm, play fake, will throw to the right side. Caught by Holloman. Breaks away from the first man at the 30. Cuts inside, spins at the 35. Pile moving, 36, 37, still upright to the 38.5. My goodness.
Wow, 9 Georgia Bulldogs pushing that pile. You talk about hustle, effort, doing the small things that make a difference. Pretty impressive right there.
Yeah, indeed, up to the 38.5, almost the 39. The gain was 16. That's a Scana Energy first down. Jeremiah Holloman, sophomore from Covington, Georgia, with his first catch of the ball game, and it's a big one as the Dogs generate a first down. They move the sticks up to the 38, and we're ready to go again. Fromm up behind the center. Lamont Gilliard, he goes under center now. Brian Harrion is in the ball game as the lone setback. We slide Simmons across the formation in motion. Handoff to Harrion. Sticks his head in there at left guard and center and drives forward for about 1.5 yards, maybe 2, across the 40 to the 41. Kobe Smith, defensive lineman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, makes the stop for Carolina.
Boy, there was a huge hole just in the cutback. If he would have cut that back to his left, a massive hole was opened up. Not a bad decision to plow forward, but a little bit of patience there and some vision. That one could have been a gash.
Carolina playing without one of their key defensive players today, DJ Wanham. He is out with an injury from last week. Dogs lost DeAndre Walker in the first half, but he's back here in the second half due to an injury. And then Andrew Thomas was injured moments ago for the Bulldogs. We'll give you a report when we can. Brian Harrion on the carry, angles to the right to the 43-yard line near the Carolina sideline. Tackled by Brad Johnson, a sophomore defensive end for the Gamecocks. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Less than 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Dogs just 1 for 5 on 3rd down tries this afternoon. They'll try this one from their own 43. Fromm back in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to the left and 2 to the right. He's got time. He'll throw downfield. There's Harrion breaking open. Throws it over his head. There comes a flag in late.
That's going to be holding. I'm not sure who it was for Carolina, but Harrion, a little wheel right out of the backfield. I believe it was one of the linebackers, Green, for Carolina. Grabbed a hold of him and took him off of his route.
Holding. Defense, number 44. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Well, those are words we like to hear from referee Matt Leffler. Automatic first down as the Dogs keep the possession alive on the defensive holding penalty on South Carolina. And the Dogs will be in Carolina territory when they next snap the ball, as the center judge walks it off and places the ball down at the Gamecock 47.
Dogs are going to have some opportunities here to take shots vertically down the field. Carolina now single safety, everybody in the box. We're man-to-man outside.
Holyfield in the backfield for the Dogs now. We've been using Swift and Holyfield and Harrion in this ball game. Holyfield will block. Wide open left side. Hardman caught at the 18. Down to the 5. Fromm looked off the secondary and then fired back to the left. And Miko was wide open on the left side of the field. Caught it and tried to get into the end zone. This time they catch him at the 5-yard line.
Great. That was an audible at the line of scrimmage by Fromm. You could just see by the way Carolina was lined up. Carolina brought pressure over the slot, never got over the top of it.
42 yards. Here's Holyfield stepping over, man, and diving into the end zone across the goal line. Touchdown, Georgia.
Boy, and I see the freshman out there, Cade Mays, making some big plays and some big blocks in his first real meaningful action. Good to see when you can bring somebody like that into the football game.
High fives for the freshman, Z, right on cue as Mays opened up the hole on that left side, and Holyfield running hard, stepping over, bodies on the ground to dive across the goal line, angling left for the score. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. It's 33-10. We love that. Here's Blankenship for the point after try to attempt to make it 34-10. The placement is down. The kick is in the air. It is good. Blankenship remains perfect on his extra points, and the Dogs roll it up. It's 34-10. Georgia quieting Williams-Brice Stadium with 9:12 to go. Third quarter timeout. Back after this. Bulldogs Sports Network. Back here in the Piedmont Healthcare Radio booth, Williams-Brice Stadium, we are watching Georgia disassemble South Carolina here in the second half. A couple of scores already. It's 34-10 as Blankenship will kick it away. We'll give you the Georgia Medal drive summary on that last scoring drive for Georgia after the kick. Rodrigo approaches the ball, kicking left to right. This one's a low wobbler, going to bounce and roll towards the corner. Did it get inside the pylon? It did. That was an ugly looking kick, but when it's going right, it's going right. As let's go down to Chuck on the sidelines, Cook Pest Control. Chuck?
Just wanted to give you a quick injury update. You know, DeAndre Walker, as you mentioned, back in the game. The other semi-good news at this point, haven't been told anything officially, but Andrew Thomas came out of the tent. John Mishad, I didn't know he could run that fast. He's our equipment manager. He sprinted to the locker room, came out with a new pair of shoes that Andrew has put on, and he's walking, he's limping a little bit on the sideline, but they put some new shoes on him. I don't think we'll see him again, but I don't think it's terrible.
All right, Chuck, thanks very much. South Carolina 1st and 10 on the 25. They'll hand it to Rico Dowdle. A little misdirection by the Carolina offense. Dowdle running to the left, this near side, and angling out of bounds at the 31. Jawan Taylor, our senior linebacker from Hollywood, Florida, on the stop. It's a 6-yard gain for Dowdle. South Carolina looking at 2nd and 4. Georgia's last scoring drive was 75 yards in 6 plays, a 5-yard run by Elijah Holyfield to put the Dogs up 34-10. As Carolina will keep it on the ground up to the 34-yard line with Dowdle, and Taylor again on the stop.
That first down run, one of the few times a day we've lost edge. DeAndre Walker was fighting to get outside, just couldn't quite get there. Dowdle then able to get it and sprint around edge for one of the few very positive runs, but still in a 3rd and short situation.
That last scoring summary brought to you by Georgia Metals. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Dowdle tried to bounce out on 3rd and 1, running this way. Georgia's defense just kept pushing Carolina back and back and back, and Dowdle had nowhere to go. He loses yardage. Natrez Patrick leading the charge and making the stop on Dowdle. On 3rd and 1, they don't get it, and they'll have to punt as they lose yardage back to the 33.
Boy, just a great job of pursuit there by Georgia. Able to stretch that play out, force Dowdle backwards. Juwan Taylor, good job. Then pushing the entire pile in the wrong direction for the Gamecocks.
Junior Joseph Charlton to punt it away. Crumpton, the deep man, to receive the kick for the Dogs. This is Charlton's best punt of the afternoon. A long, hanging, beautiful spiral. Backing up Akil back inside the 15 to about the 13, maybe the 14-yard line, where he calls for the fair catch between the hash marks. And the Dogs will get the football back. 7:37 to go in the 3rd quarter. His best punt of the afternoon, Joseph Charlton, with a 53-yarder.
That way, and just like that, we've got complete control of the football game.
Jake Fromm has gotten into a rhythm too. He's completed 8 straight passes now and is 14 for 17 in the game just shy of 200 yards. He's thrown 1 touchdown pass. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Scott, I got official word now on Andrew Thomas. It's a left ankle injury. I'm being told he is just out for now.
All right. Well, that's a lot better than a knee in most cases.
No question about that.
Southwest Airlines, low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. A destination I would love right now would be the end zone again. Georgia's offense back out there on the 14-yard line, our own 14, ready to go. Third possession of the third quarter. South Carolina's fans are thinning out here at Williams-Brice Stadium. We hand it off to DeAndre Swift. He runs it straight up the field, across the 17 to almost the 18. Aaron Sterling, a defensive end from Atlanta, on the stop, a sophomore for Carolina, 6'1" and 245. Nose of the ball almost to the 18-yard line. A 4-yard run for DeAndre. Second down, 6 for the Dogs.
And that's just a push from the offensive line. Looked like nothing was there. Next thing you know, it's a 4-yard gain.
3 receivers bunched out wide to the left in Georgia's formation. The Dogs are moving to our right. Gilliard with a snap to Fromm. Quick sling out to Hardman with blocks. Hardman almost pulled away at the 25. Guy was hanging on for dear life around his waist. Charlie Werner, Demetrius Robertson blocking out on that left edge. If that guy doesn't hang on, number 4 is off again into the end zone. As it is, he got the first down at the 26 where they stop it.
If I'm a defensive coordinator, I don't know if I play man-to-man outside if Hardman's out there. He catches that football. He is 1 step away all the time from taking it to the house.
1st and 10. Dogs on our own 26-yard line. That last catch and run put Mecole Hardman over 100 yards receiving. First one this year. Here's Harrion running up the gut, moving behind the line of scrimmage. The pile goes with him straight up between the hash marks up to 35. South Carolina has no answer right now as Harrion runs it up for 9 yards to the 35-yard line. Kenley and Cade Mays, the guard and left tackle, and Charlie Werner, the tight end, just steamroll in South Carolina's defense on that play.
Yeah, there's not even a cut that I might be able to run behind that.
Well, let's don't get crazy.
Well, maybe not. I could walk behind that, though.
Ball's at the 36. Here's Harrion at left tackle, cuts in behind Cade Mays, and there they go again across the 40. Here goes the pile. Big Ben Cleveland jumps in there and moves it another yard or so up to the 45-yard line, a 10-yard push. The actual run may have been about 5 yards, maybe 6, and then the pile finished it off. Gilliard, Mays, again leading the blocking. Georgia's offensive line is really starting to beat up on South Carolina and wear down the defense in Garnet and Black.
Well, you know, Scott, we talked about in the first half, we weren't able to do that because we didn't have the football a whole lot. Right now, you're starting to see all these big bodies, you know, 318, 335, 335, 340. They're starting to wear down this defensive line of South Carolina.
Now we've just gone power, 2 tight end set. Holyfield behind the line. Handoff bounces out 50. Elijah 45-40. Far sideline, leans in and stumbles towards the 30-yard line and out of bounds right there. Quick 25-yard burst by Elijah Holyfield off the left side. Gets the ball just inside the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Dogs at the Carolina 29.5.
Very reminiscent of what we saw so often last year. Get a demanding lead, turn the football game over to your offensive line and your running backs. We've got different personnel in right now, but a very similar story.
Georgia on the Carolina 29. Here we go. Handoff Holyfield. He cuts, moves to the left. Man hanging on. He still drives for more positive yardage. Right over the SEC logo on the 25-yard line. Holyfield takes it to the Carolina 22.5. Stephen Montack, the safety, made the tackle for the Gamecock defense. But it's a 6-yard gain. 2nd down and 4. Clock moving 3rd quarter. We've still got a 4th quarter to play. Stadium might be empty by then. 4.5 minutes, less than that now as we tick down here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, if they keep seeing this kind of performance by this offensive line, they'll start, that trickle will become a flood out of this stadium.
DeAndre Swift in the backfield now. Fromm under center, hand it to DeAndre, looking for a block. He cuts behind Mays again. Mays is making a lot of blocks here as he's filling in for Andrew Thomas, and Swift slashes his way to the 19.5, maybe the 18-yard line, as Georgia just continue to move the football. South Carolina, again, defensively has no answer for Georgia's offense at this point.
What patience there by DeAndre Swift. For the first time in a while here, there was actually some penetration by the Carolina defensive line. Swift able to sidestep that and then patiently wait for his blocks to develop, and then he takes off.
4-yard gain for Swift, the sophomore. We bring in Holloman in tight. He flanks that left edge, hand it to DeAndre. He runs straight ahead, hesitates a little bit, sees a crease, runs in there behind big Solomon Kinley, straight up the gut to the 15-yard line. Shamik Blackshear, defensive lineman, made the tackle for South Carolina. They're standing there looking at the sidelines, hands on hips, trying to catch their breath, just trying to figure out how they can stop Georgia's running game. They don't have an answer at this point. It's 2nd down and 6. 4-yard gain for the Dogs. Ball's just inside the Carolina 15-yard line.
Brian Harrion now into the football game for DeAndre Swift.
Fromm going to give it to Harrion. Brian slides right through an opening and into the end zone, straight ahead, touchdown. He just kind of sidestepped the defender, squeezed through some daylight, and next thing you know, he's celebrating 6 in the end zone.
Boy, Lamont Gilliard, fantastic block from that center position. And you're right, Harrion, just a little bit of patience, saw a crease created by Gilliard, and then off to the races.
15 yards on the touchdown run for Brian Harrion, and the Dogs hit the 40-point mark and looking for 41. SEC contest, SEC opener in Columbia. Sellout crowd at Williams-Brice, and the Dogs are sending them to the exits. Here's Blankenship's point after try. The snap and the hold. The kick is up, and it's in the net good. It's 41-10. That Harrion touchdown, sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. 9 plays, 86 yards. See, they never stopped us to 10. And 86 yards on that drive, that possession, the longest drive of the day by the Bulldogs. 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. And now it's just a race to get to the exits and get back to your tailgate side out in the concrete jungle that is the South Carolina Fairgrounds off to our left.
Yeah, and that touchdown has sent them all to the exits.
Blankenship to kick it again. Samuel deep in the end zone. He might try to run this one out. He's standing 5 yards deep in the end zone. Blankenship, well, says forget that. He kicks it over the hedge into the seats. Another touch. Look at him clapping. Another touchback. Rodrigo's in a groove. If you know someone who makes an impact on their community, Team UGA, presented by Georgia Power, is now accepting nominations for members who demonstrate an unselfish giving attitude. Submit your nominations at georgiadogs.com. 41-10. Who saw this coming? Let's see. Junior,
senior,
Tony, Chuck. Chuck saw this one coming?
Not I. I didn't see it coming.
Tony said it would be a blowout. Or did you? I'm just making that up. Carolina 1st and 10 on the 25. We still got to play another quarter of football as Bentley will pass to Rico Dowdle. Dowdle run after the catch up to the 34-yard line, tackled by Monty Rice. Put the ball back on the 33. The gain is 8. 2nd down and 2. Carolina goes fast. Jake Bentley, empty set. He'll throw it to the left side again. Dowdle hit hard as soon as he caught the ball. DeAndre Baker, and the preseason All-American, has had that kind of an afternoon today.
Boy,
matched up with Deebo Samuel. He hasn't given up much of anything, Z.
No, he hasn't. A couple of pass interference. One was a little bit iffy. One was a definite pass interference. Outside of that, picking up right where he left off. Dogs right now just playing some vanilla zone, keeping the ball in front of them and then closing fast.
That gain was 1. It's 3rd and 1 now. Carolina's ball on their own 34. Bentley's going to roll to the right and throw, and it is caught. Reaching down low is Shi Smith. Caught it down below his knees. Turned to his left and up the sideline for the 1st down at the 38-yard line. It was only a 4-yard gain, but they moved the sticks and keep possession as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3. 41-10, Georgia. Bentley in sunshine on the far hash, moving to the left with time to throw, fires over the middle. It's caught on a slant by Edwards. I think Brian Edwards, the junior receiver from Conway, South Carolina, made the catch. Tyson Campbell made the tackle. Edwards gets to the 48 of Georgia. And that's a gain of 14 yards and a first down for the Gamecocks and move across the midfield stripe.
Yeah, let's see if the Dogs cross the 50, see if we start dialing up the pressure again.
Bentley with time to throw, and he will do so. We tipped the pass. Williams-Brice tipped it as it sailed by him, trying to hit a man running down the seam, but Rice altered the direction of the pass by batting it away. It's incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 1:32 to go, third quarter, and bring up second down and 10 for Carolina. Ball back to the Georgia 48-yard line.
Bentley probably lucky that one was batted away by Williams-Brice. Richard LeCount looked like he had a bead on it.
All right, Bentley ready to go. He's got to back off to his right. Two receivers to the right and left. He works on the logo, middle of the field, stands in the pocket, throws over the middle. It's caught between the hash marks by Josh Vann, a freshman from Tucker, Georgia, his first catch of the day. And he's tackled at the 34 and a 36 and a half, 35 and a half, right around that area by Richard LeCount for the Georgia defense. And the gain is 13 yards and a first down, South Carolina, as they move quickly with a minute and change to go in quarter number 3. 4 down linemen to rush for Georgia. Bentley throws over the middle in traffic, short pass caught by the tight end, one of the tight ends, Kyle Markway, stopped by Rice again, the linebacker, Jawan Taylor. Make the tackle between the hash marks at the 28-yard line, 7-yard pickup. Second down 3 for the Gamecocks. We're less than 45 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Just a little spot right there by the tight end in the soft part of that 3-deep zone for the Dogs. Dogs content here. Keep the football in front of you and just make any drive from Carolina grind the clock out.
Ledbetter and Wyatt, Bennett or Barnett rather, and Beal on the front line rushing for Georgia. Bentley has time. He throws over the middle again between the hash marks, caught by Vann. His second catch on this possession. He catches it inside the 15, tackled by D'Angelo Gibbs and Richard LeCount at the 12-yard line. That's a pickup of 16. That's another first down. That might be the last play of the quarter. Less than 10 seconds to go. They'll let the clock tick away, I think. Although Carolina's up to the line of scrimmage now. Bentley's ready to go. Game clock's at 1 second. They get the snap off apparently. Pump fake. He'll throw it laterally this way, and we eat that play up. Randricus Davis.
That's the end of the third quarter.
From Atlanta caught it at the 16, and we plowed over him with William Poole at the 16-yard line. They lose a yard on that pass play. That's how the third quarter ends. We've got 15 to go. It's all Georgia here in Columbia. Bulldogs 41, Gamecocks 10. Fourth quarter up next here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Some clock. So misleading a little bit. That was an absolute dominating quarter of football by Georgia.
South Carolina, however, threatening here as we start the fourth quarter. They are on the Georgia 12-yard line. Second down. And about, 14 to go. They had a lost yardage play in quarter number 3 on a throw out into the left flat. Bentley looks to the left, now pulls it down, runs straight down the field. 15, 10, hit by LeCount at the 8. He bounces off down at around the 5. Ball came out after he was down. J.R. Reed picked it up, but the play has been blown dead as Bentley scrambles forward to the 5. A gain of 7 yards. It's going to be third down and 3 for Carolina. They can get a first down inside the 5. Tyson Campbell stopped the Carolina quarterback Bentley at the 5-yard line. Campbell, the freshman defensive back from Plantation, Florida.
Good decision there by Bentley to pull that down. Dogs again playing soft, back in coverage.
A.J. Turner in the backfield for South Carolina. Bentley in the shotgun. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. Bentley looked like a quarterback draw. He set up, pulled it down, and he pays for it. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, I don't think. Runs it straight ahead. Jonathan Ledbetter got to him first for the Georgia defense, and then 3 or 4 more white shirts jumped in there to keep the quarterback from moving any farther downfield. They're going to give him forward progress. 5.5, 6-yard line.
Boy,
It'll be 4th and 4 for the Gamecocks.
If I'm playing quarterback and that call comes in against this defense, I'm audibling even if I don't see anything.
That would have been a better play probably than what we just saw. But it's 4th down and 4 for South Carolina. They will go for it on the Dogs' 6-yard line. 3 receivers bunched tightly on the right side, 1 to the left. And a bullet fired into the end zone and is picked off in the end zone. J.R. Reed caught that bullet in the end zone for the touchback.
Great read there by J.R. Reed. Saw the slant the entire way. Jumps right in front of it and able to secure the catch. Well done.
Projectile dysfunction for the second time for Jake Bentley. The Dogs have the ball going the other way. 1st and 10 on the 20. Timeout. 13:25 to go in the game. Georgia 41, South Carolina 10 on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Here in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth at Williams-Brice, Georgia 41, South Carolina 10. J.R. Reed with his first interception of the season just moments ago in the end zone on 4th down. And the Dogs get the touchback and bring it out on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 there. James Cook into the ball game gets his first carry as he angles towards the left at left tackle. And he will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain there. Justin Fields in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Apparently Jake Fromm's day is done with 13 minutes to go and Georgia leading by 31 points. Fields under center. The new center is Trey Hill, freshman. Handoff Cook. Cook at left tackle cuts inside behind the block of the tight end Charlie Werner. Leans in there for about 3 yards up to the 23-yard line. Kendall Baker is in the game at guard. We got Mays at tackle still. Mays came in for the injured Andrew Thomas. We got Baker at guard, Trey Hill at center, Ben Cleveland at guard, and Isaiah Wilson at tackle. So the right side of the line remains intact as far as the starters are concerned. And Fields at cornerback. Brian Harrion has checked in now to the game. Jason Stanley, Demetrius Robertson, Akil Crumpton, Charlie Werner. Snap to Fields on the 15. Now he runs out of the pocket. We'll see what he can do there. They're going to grab a leg. He pulls away. Still driving across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Nice effort by the freshman quarterback. He was hit 2 or 3 times and still got positive yards out of it to the 26.
Yeah, but not the drive that the Dogs wanted there, even with some backups in the football game. Definitely wanted to get some first downs and keep it going.
Well, they go 3 and out instead. You're right about that. But the Dogs did stop the Carolina scoring drive with the J.R. Reed interception in the end zone. So here we go with Jake Camarda after the 3 and out, the first of the day by the offense. Camarda's punt kind of off the side of his foot. It angles to the left. It's low and end over end and out of bounds at the Carolina 41-yard line. Not a lot of oomph on that punt by Jake Camarda. We've got a timeout. 11:27 to go in the game. Only a 33-yard punt by the Dogs.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Today's broadcast is live from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth.
Georgia Power brings the energy for every game day and to your community too. Visit georgiapower.com/sports to learn more. South Carolina with the ball. 4th quarter here. 11:27 remaining. They've got it on their own 41-yard line after a short punt by Georgia. Bentley in the pocket will throw to the left. It's caught around the Carolina 48 by Debo Samuel, the senior from Inman, South Carolina. He's tackled right there. We haven't let that guy get out of our sight. Eric Stokes makes the tackle. Redshirt freshman corner from Covington, Georgia. Ball's at the 49. And the gain was 8.
Yeah, one of the keys to the game is make sure he does not get the football in space. And when he does touch it, get him to the ground very quickly. We have hemmed him up the entire game.
Stanley, the big center for Carolina, over the ball to snap it to Bentley in the shotgun. He'll throw it to Turner out of the backfield, left side. Turner makes the catch in Georgia territory, chased out of bounds again by Stokes into the Georgia sideline. And they'll spot it at the Bulldog 47-yard line. The gain was 4. And it's a Carolina first down with 10:42 to go in the game. 41-10. Georgia with 24 unanswered points. Handoff Turner. Runs it at left guard and left tackle. Tries to plow through a lot of white shirts there. Georgia really mucking up the works with that defensive front. Daquan Hawkins-Muckle and big Devontae Wyatt. Crowder and Cox get credit for the stop on the tackle. Brenton Cox, a freshman linebacker, Stockbridge, Georgia. Tate Crowder, a junior linebacker from Hamilton. The gain was 3, 2nd down and 7 from the Georgia 44-yard line. Bentley to throw it, going to go deep near sideline. One-on-one coverage, caught over the shoulder by Edwards, and a touchdown. He beat Tyson Campbell, but the ball was perfectly placed, and the 6'3 Edwards over the shoulder catch for the long touchdown for South Carolina.
You cannot throw a deep ball any better than that. Tyson Campbell in pretty good shape, not great shape, wasn't able to get up and extend through the hands of Edwards and knock that football out. But that ball was thrown as well as you can throw a deep ball.
44 yards on the touchdown throw and catch from Jake Bentley to Brian Edwards. And now here's Parker White for the point after try for South Carolina. They end their long scoring drought as the extra point kick is up and good. 9:59 to go. Carolina gets something to cheer about here late in the ball game. It's 41-17. Dogs lead the Gamecocks. Timeout. Back in a moment. Bulldogs Sports Network. Here in the Piedmont Healthcare Radio booth, we have watched Georgia lead South Carolina now here in the fourth quarter, 41-17. Brian Edwards just had his second touchdown reception of the game, his first from the quarterback Jake Bentley. That's their first touchdown since Deebo Samuel hit Brian Edwards way back midway through the first quarter. Carolina with a 59-yard drive in 4 plays, 44 yards from Bentley to Edwards for the score. And Carolina will tee it up on the 35, get ready to kick it away. We don't think they're going to kick it deep because Mecole Hardman's up on the 15-yard line, but he will kick it deep. White puts his foot into it. It's going to bounce in the end zone, and Hardman will watch it tumble over the back line of the end zone for the touchback. Right now, come in and get exceptional offers on all BMWs in stock. Visit one of your Atlanta area BMW centers today for a test drive. Proud to be the official luxury vehicle of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com for more offer details. All right, Georgia at the 25. See if the Dogs go back to work aggressively on offense. Justin Fields is the quarterback. Cook is in the backfield. Pretty much the same lineup we had on that last series. Hill is the center, Baker and Cleveland the guards, Mays and Wilson the tackles. We got Luke Ford in there at tight end spot.
First charge timeout, Georgia.
Kirby Smart wants to talk to the offensive folks. He was standing there after he called the timeout with his hands on his hips, motioning for the team to come over to him.
Yeah, not happy about it.
Schedule your next visit with a new online booking tool at piedmont.org/UGA. Piedmont Healthcare is the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs. 1st and 10 Georgia on our 25-yard line after the timeout. Fields takes the snap, hands off to Cook. He jukes a couple of defenders and works his way up to the 35-yard line. Boy, he made that 10-yard run look very easy. They tackle him. They're just shy of the 35-yard line, so 2nd and about a half yard for a first down for Georgia.
Little off tackle going towards Cade Mays, who's having a fantastic football game since coming in. And then you're right, James Cook, a nice nifty cut there and explodes for the 9-yard gain.
Cook, who was ineligible for the first half after a targeting penalty in the second half in the opener last week, had to sit out half number 1. Has a couple of carries or so here in the second half. He's in the backfield, going to get another try. Fields puts it in his belly, and Cook drives at right tackle and right guard across the 35 to the 37. That's a first down for Georgia, 3-yard pickup. Clock moving. Well, it stopped for the first down. Now it's moving at 9:18 and ticking. And the Dogs would like nothing better than to grind out a nice long drive here and eat up most of the rest of that clock. Leading at 41-17.
It's probably what Kirby called them over for, is just to get them focused in that this game is not over. This is their chance to shine and their chance to earn playing time. Go out and do your job.
Fields, handoff. Cook looking for room on the near side to the 40. Hit there. by Rosendo Lewis, and he bounced off of him down to the 42-yard line. Cade Mays and Luke Ford with blocking on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Mays has, the 6'6" freshman from Knoxville, 318. Boy, he hasn't missed a beat since Andrew Thomas was injured earlier in the ball game.
No, it's been pancake after pancake for Cade Mays. He's done a tremendous job. We've called his name probably 10 times since he's come into the football game.
And for an offensive lineman, that's highly unusual. Normally, you don't even know they're in the game unless they make a mistake, but that's not the case with Mays today. Cook starts straight ahead, bounces out left, uses his speed to get towards the sideline. Can't cut the corner, though. Carolina's defense stretched it all the way out to the sideline at the 45-yard line. And it'll be third down coming up for the Dogs. Third and a couple. Let's check in with Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Scott, just playing off what Eric just mentioned a minute ago, I have heard Kirby in the locker room tell these young men, meaning Kirby, I don't look at the scoreboard, what the score is or the time left. I expect all of you to have maximum effort and execution on every snap of the ball.
Well, here's Fields going to roll to the right and throw it to Blunt, who made the catch in Carolina territory. Trey Blunt with his first reception makes the catch at the 48-yard line.
Boy, I like that play call, too. Move the pocket for Justin Fields. Give him a clear lane to throw. Little out route by Blunt, and that ball delivered right on the money.
Prather Hudson has checked into the ball game as well in the backfield for the Bulldogs. And Georgia with the ball and a first down at the Carolina 48-yard line. Fields under center. Power formation for the Dogs. A couple of tight ends in there. Handed off to Hudson. Hudson drives to the right, tries to step over Justin Schaefer, who was blocking on that right edge, but not a lot of space there. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage out wide or not. It's going to be second down and 10. Doesn't appear so. Maybe he did right back to the line of scrimmage or lost about a half yard. The ball is between the Carolina 47 and 48-yard line.
Dogs doing a nice job here of chewing up some clock down to 6:43, 42.
Just taking their time. Play clock at 13. Now Fields up, observing the defense. Points out the Mike linebacker, and will set the play in motion with 3 seconds to go. Handoff Cook. Hole in the middle. Cuts in behind the blocks. Down the hatch to the 41-yard line. I think that was one of the tight ends blocking. It was Charlie Werner. Cook jumped in there behind him and pushes the ball to the 41. A gain of 6. 3rd and 3. As the Dogs continue to take their time, let the clock tick down as we approach 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Georgia has never trailed in this contest. It started with a DeAndre Baker interception. It was almost a 56-yard pick six. It was a 55-yard return. He dropped the ball at the 1, and it was picked up by Juwan Taylor and taken into the end zone for the score for Georgia's first touchdown, and they haven't looked back. Cook with the handoff, bounces out to the right as he breaks one tackle, gets away from one outside the numbers around the 41. Tries to get to the edge, pushed out of bounds on the far sideline at the 38 by R.J. Roderick, a freshman defensive back from Summerville, South Carolina.
Well, good individual effort there by Cook. The initial hole was jammed up by a number of Carolina defenders, able to get outside and somehow get this into a 4th and 1 situation. The Dogs are staying on the field, going to go for it.
As Eric said, 4th and 1, ball's on the 38. Trey Hill, the center, over the ball for the Dogs. On the South Carolina 38, Fields will take the snap, hand off to Cook. The angles to the right. Did he get it or not? He tried to dive through a hole. It closed in a hurry at left tackle. And he got the first down. He only needed a yard. He got about a yard and an inch. Ball is at the 36 of South Carolina. And the Gamecocks, for the most part, have not been able to stop Georgia on the ground. 251 yards rushing for Georgia this afternoon.
Now, and you can really tell in the third quarter, all of the strength of this offensive line really came to bear as Carolina just got on skates and could do nothing to slow it down.
4:37 to go in the ball game. Prather Hudson will get the carry. Starts to the left, cuts back. On the hash mark, he finds a little bit of daylight, dives in there for a couple of yards to the 33. He picked up 3. Tackle made by Shamik Blackshear for South Carolina, junior defensive lineman. The Dogs are doing what they wanted to do. And just under 10 minutes remaining when they started this possession. They've taken 5 minutes off the clock thus far as we approach 4 minutes to go in the ballgame. Georgia just taking its time, milking that play clock, and keeping the ball on the ground and staying in bounds. Fields under center. Hill with the snap. Handoff to Hudson. Prather straight ahead running to the 30. Roderick the tackle. R.J. Roderick, the defensive back for South Carolina. Ball just shy of the 30. Not quite a full 3-yard gain for Prather Hudson, the former walk-on from Columbus, Georgia. 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs. Hudson goes out, and Cook and Werner come back in. Luke Ford, the freshman tight end from Illinois, remains in the ballgame. .320 counting. Stadium thinning out mostly. All that remains for the most part are Georgia fans. Handoff on 3rd down. Cook covers it with both arms, bounces outside to the 27, knocked out of bounds right at the 1st down marker, and he glides by it by about a yard. He got the 1st down on the South Carolina sideline at the 27. Cook has some nice moves. Boy, nice stutter step, quick darts to the left and the right. Z, he's hard to stop.
Yeah, he is. Just slippery too when he runs, but he's got some power. He's got a pretty thin frame right now, 183, 185 pounds, but runs with more power than what you might think.
13th play of the drive for Georgia as we milk the final 10 minutes on the clock, or at least that's our goal. Cook nowhere to go this time, runs it straight ahead and knocked down at the 25-yard line. Lucindo Lewis, freshman linebacker, on the stop. His 2nd or 3rd tackle on this possession for the Carolina defense. Gain was 1, and Hudson comes back in the backfield for Georgia. 2:17, clock moving, 4th quarter, 41-17 Georgia. Dogs scored 24 unanswered points to stretch out the lead, big and juicy. Just right on the 25. I was going to say just inside the 25, but the ball sits right on top of the line. Hudson starts straight, bounces left, now heads downfield outside the hash mark and down to the 19-yard line. He got 6 yards. It looked like he had nothing, and he found some daylight to the left and hit the hole good. He got 6 yards down to the 19.
Yeah, great decision there to get north and south. It looked like he was going to bounce it outside where he wouldn't have anything, but able to plant that foot in the ground and get going straight down the field for a nice gain.
Fans, if you're dedicated to your team, and Rocket Mortgage is dedicated to you, because when it comes to buying a home, the right way should be the only way. Rocket Mortgage, proud mortgage partner of Georgia Athletics. 3rd down 3 from the Carolina 19. 1:15 to go. Handoff Hudson. Hesitates, hits the hole. 15, 14, 13. Twisted down there. Another 1st down to the 13-yard line. 6-yard pickup. Javon Charleston hit him first as the Dogs drive into the Massey Ferguson red zone, presented by Massey Ferguson. Experience the compact utility tractors that will take you through the season strong.
Boy, Dogs finish this game with, what was that, a 9-minute, 40-second drive.
Yeah, this is just what the doctor ordered. Now they go into the victory formation. 48 seconds to go, 13 on the play clock. Justin Fields watching the clock tick down, and they'll take a knee, take the snap here in just a minute. Fields to take a snap. He'll take the knee, and the final 33 will tick away. Our sacks update is brought to you by Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway. The Dogs had 1 sack today. South Carolina had 2 in the ball game. And the Champions for Charity game is on every time we win. Camp Twin Lakes wins. The Salvation Army and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities. And for every bowl game the Dogs win, Walton Gas will donate $5,000. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas. Final second of the ball game ticks off the clock, and the clock is wiped clean here in Columbia. No photograph opportunity.